All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time. The moment you have all been waiting for. The grand final of the Homestead Cup live in Niš, Serbia. I'm Crackly, joined here today by the wonderful Myriad, Order of the Dragon here, as the second last civilization for B. Last pick is going to be coming in now from hand. The question is it going to be Jin Dynasty? And it's going to be Jin Dynasty. Let's go!
That's what you want to see. The Jin pick at the end. Yes, indeed. Clap for that.
The fans rejoice. The Jin Dynasty gets a pick in the grand final, or at least it gets drafted.
Yeah.
Not sure about the pick yet, but
even as a psychological strategy, picking Jin here, I think is quite effective, surely. But it looks like the picks have been made, Crackity.
And it is indeed that English favor here from the Spanish brothers. We're going to be seeing the English up against the Knights Templar to start us off here on Holy Island. But here we go. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, our first game in our best of 9 grand finals here at the Homestead Cup live in Niš, Serbia. We've got Lucifron playing as the English here in the color yellow on Holy Island. His opponent, none other than 3DB in the color green, playing as the Knights Templar.
Holy Island is the opening map here for the grandest of finals at the Homestead Cup. And the dock opening becomes immediately a reality here for Lucifron. He puts it very far at the back, actually, so potentially wary of a spearman opening, which is a very real possibility against the Knights Templar. And looking over to B, that is likely not going to be the case, as the villager begins moving out past the gold there, and seems it's just going to be a dock for B as well.
As the Knights Templar, you don't quite start with enough wood in order to get your first stock out. A harbor just costing that additional 100 wood there. So took his time with getting his villager out there, and is now going to be building that harbor on up. Now, it is, of course, Holy Island. That means that we are going to be having a special guest here in the castle. So, Kao, you're the Holy Island expert, so...
I mean, you guys keep calling me that. I just keep rolling with it.
I mean, you really are into Holy Island, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm one of those rare breeds that do like water on this game.
Ooh, okay.
And I have the worst opinion in the game's history. Spin to win Springle Ship should be brought back. Unironically.
You know what? I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think the spin to win meta was fun. The main issue I had with it was that at the point, only French had Springle ships in the Feudal Age. That was like the main issue with it.
That is very true.
If everybody spins to wins, then it's all good with me.
Fun times. Good times. Anyways, so it's a bit interesting, right? It could have been Lancaster here for Lucifron, which
It could have been, yeah.
I'm just trying to think, right?
I mean, it's pretty similar, right?
Yeah.
There's not really any immediate economic bonuses for the English at all. Typically on water maps in general ever. So there wouldn't really have been any difference there at all if it was English or if it was House of Lancaster, aside, of course, when it comes to having access to either the Lords of Lancaster or the King itself.
Yeah. I mean, with English, right, one of the powers that you have this free king, right? It's 200 resources, so you kind of get that immediately out on the field, or still for free. You still have to produce it. But it is fairly interesting, right? Like, why is English so powerful? They have no eco bonuses. They have really nothing, and it's all in just Admiralty and the fact that their ships are
A little bit
10%
cheaper. Yeah, 10% cheaper.
Yeah.
So you save like 7.5 wood-ish there
So-
per fishing ship.
Oh no, I never thought about that. You know how much a fishing ship for English costs?
68?
No. Vodka, click on a dock, please.
67.
Ah.
I was hopeful there for a second.
No.
You guys didn't see it, but we did
we
do the handshake there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So, we've talked about this, me and Myriad, previously. Holy Island game. It is 50-50 whether the wood line is forward or backwards. This time around, for the first time, I think, this tournament, it actually is a backwards wood line, which means that English is a little bit weaker.
a little bit weaker indeed. Not that weak still, but just makes it a tiny bit harder for the English king to find any targets immediately, and just means in general infantry-based civilizations, they need a while longer until they can actually do any pressure on the wood line. We do now have both players, or at least Lucifron just now, moving out with 4 villagers over to gold. 4 villagers on gold does kind of tell a story that...
Yeah, this is a response to him seeing, oh, B didn't greed out.
Yeah.
Right, he's on 4... I mean, okay.
He sees the second harbor
he sees
now.
the second dock, right?
I think it's more about him being like, okay, I want to greed out and I want to get that Admiralty as soon as possible.
Okay. It is Kingdom of France, though. Just straight up, just good. I think it's a really solid choice, but I do actually like, personally, I actually do like the Hospitaliers on Holy Island quite a bit as Knights Templar.
It is nice, yeah. Just having the possibility of diving a woodline and healing your units up in that woodline when you're like just outside of the range of the TC. There's something...
But also the eco bonus, right?
Oh yeah, a little bit more movement speed on your villagers, especially when it comes to gathering from woodlines. Actually, doesn't really matter for woodlines for the Knights Templar, but when it comes to raiding, getting raided, having that little bit of bonus HP and being able to run away quicker, being able to get to another resource quicker to continue gathering, this is very, very solid bonus there for the Knights Templar. Kingdom of France now just 5 seconds away from completion, and B, he's already got a lot of wood in the bank. Wouldn't be too surprised if we immediately see a stable or an early Chevalier to come in.
So he's actually going for the Pilgrims first. He should be dropping a stable as well. So actually, with that timing that he does have now, he's actually going to be greeting out onto land fully and not going for a naval play immediately.
Yeah. Lucifron, 8 villagers building that Abbey of Kings, so he really wants to get that age up going as soon as possible. 3 villagers still on gold. Will expect to send those 3 villagers back to gold. Yeah.
See, that's the response, right? He doesn't know that there's because of the age of timing, and he does know that there's a stable, immediately has to queue up those 2, right? Normally, in this situation, if you actually have perfect vision, in my opinion, what would be the smart choice is actually just queuing 1 ship and either a barracks or a tower on your gold.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Definitely an option here for him, and it is going to be the outpost now as a follow-up. 6 villagers are going to be getting that one up, lickety-split. And in the meantime, that scout from B, as he was scouting out those stocks, is going to be able to survive.
He still doesn't have any naval in queue.
Yeah. To be fair, it takes quite a while for your opponent to reach your side, so
yeah,
you do have some leeway, and there is a sprinkled ship in queue for him now, so will still be in a position to defend here. Chevalier going to be facing off against a scout, while the king is going to be charging. Scout is there, could be bracing up against that charge, and will indeed be taking that charge. It's not going to be coming through on the Chevalier, but still, more and more Chevalier in the queue at the moment for B2, and 2 more in queue currently, so is messing up a scary amount of them. Will be able to soon start diving the outpost. I think at like 5 to 6 Chevalier, you can reasonably start just diving that outpost.
Yeah, like one of the things as well that allows me to be a little bit extra greedy is the fact that you have KT, you have the dock bonus, right? People think, hey, it's just a more expensive dock, whatever, it's a harbor, instead it costs 250, you have spring on placement, but it also gives ships in range of it. It gives them passive healing like every other dock, but it also gives them extra HP. Right, so you can take a couple of extra shots in your own base and kind of just chill. You now have that barracks coming in, so a couple of spearmen on the field will soon be hitting for Lucifron. He's gonna need it, especially with this dive, right?
Yeah.
These horsemen or knights. I actually don't know what you want to call them.
They're horse knights.
They're horse knights. Perfect.
Something in between.
Yeah. So you have 2 ranged armor, right? So being allowed to sit underneath this gold here, just sitting under the tower, just chilling, just vibing, just idling, just delaying the Admiralty. That's the main goal here for me.
Yeah, it's definitely very necessary considering that Lucifron currently, he is getting closer and closer to that Admiralty, as you said. That's the main thing that needs to be delayed. Got the picture-in-picture right now, as we can see. He's still harassing on that outpost. And the king now on the gold mine here from B.
Range.
Doing a little bit of idling out as well.
That's a good job here. Lucifron needs to fall back with those ships. Really don't want to take any fights right now before Admiralty is in. And desperately not want to take it underneath those docks again with that bonus HP. We do have a little bit of a dive, good idle time here. A lot of villagers are being pulled over onto gold tier triple. Is that a triple archer range?
Triple archer range indeed coming in from B now. This is very interesting at this point. He does have a lot of wood in the bank, but just the pure mass of villagers that just got sent over to gold, that's a little bit astounding here, I want to say.
Yeah, I must say so myself, right? I mean, the king doing a good job keeping that one alive, just letting it heal back up, get back out there. Lucifron needs to respond here with...
Is it a
horseman?
bait? I mean, it still feels like a bait. He is starting to queue up the archers, but behind it still 2 additional sprinkle ships as well for B. So it's not like he's just straight up going into archers, ignoring everything else. He's trying to do both land and water.
I mean, he's queuing this, right? I mean, behind this as well, we need to remember that Pilgrims has been on the field for quite a bit. They are just being sent to the middle, so that should be 130 gold, actually. Can we quickly check?
Quite 130, maybe like 100?
Oh, 89. Oh.
89, okay.
Yeah. It is really rough sending them over the water, right?
Definitely when you don't have control of the middle water, yeah.
I want to throw them away. Lucifron here, he did decide to go into those longbows. I was a little bit unsure whether he should go longbows or horsemen, but does decide to go for those longbows, just adding...
And look at the walls inside of his base in the wood line. Lucifron, he's not playing around there.
Okay, Admiralty is in queue now.
Oof, that's kind of difficult now. He does have more Springle chips as well, so this will be quite tough for B, who has not gathered up any stone yet, so Springle emplacements not going to be coming in anytime soon for him.
Noteworthy, there's no demos either on the field just yet. On water just yet. We are taking these odd little pot shots here. Nothing to really be able to trade back here. Just a couple of longbows on the front lines here, so we'll be having to be a little bit careful here. Is going to have a clash though. Networks of Castles is great here for the time being, but still able to take down a lot of spears here from Lucifron, putting him in a very precarious position.
And the fights are being taken on water as well. We do see a couple of demo ships now in queue. They are coming out right as well. Still trading out underneath that outpost. Archers doing their best to thin out the number of spearmen there. Not too many longbows out there currently. And B's mass on land, it's just definitely way ahead of what Lucifron has at the moment. 15 archers, 11 chevalier remaining at the moment. And water, he is able to repel for the time being as well.
Yeah, gonna lose the entirety of his gold here as well. Just able to torch down that tower in the picture-in-picture. Still, however, Lucifron is winning on the water.
He's got Admiralty now. That's a pretty game-ending move. He just doesn't have any gold to make any additional Springle chips.
Yeah, now the dive is coming through. I mean, losing more and more villagers here. This is not a good start to this grand finals for Lucifron. Yeah, just no blacksmith upgrades. You are right. I mean, no eco upgrades except for the double broadaxe, which is not going to be helping him at all here. 5 spearmen in queue, but how many barracks does he really have? I would only guess 1 or 2, which is going to mean that this production is going to be exceptionally slow. Is that a gap in a... No, that's not a gap.
It is.
Wait, what?
Can you pass through? He might not be able to pass through. No, he can't pass through.
No! Is there another gap at least? Oh no, he might be... Oh my gosh,
there is another gap, but this is so bad for him.
No.
And at the same time, he's getting cornered on water as well. He's trying to escape from the Springle, from the demo ships, but the villagers, they're all getting idled out.
Just has to focus on water right now. Where does he decide to focus?
There's no way.
He just... Oh my gosh, that is such an unfortunate one.
And B starting the set off strong with the victory here in game number 1. Lucifron with the English, even though he's gotten Admiralty in, he just wasn't able to capitalize on it. Great attention from B to hit both land and water.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Murad, the rest of the set is yours. There's no more.
Ottomans making it through.
No way.
But he snipes out the Golden Horde, which has so far been absolutely brutally dominant up against the Japanese. So I kind of see why B decided to get rid of the Golden Horde rather than the Ottomans.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like...
If you lose against Ottomans, then it's fine, right? Like, Ottomans is broken, but if you were to fall for the Japanese versus Golden Horde bait, then you would just hate yourself afterwards.
Ottomans, man. How many times does this Civ have to win?
How damn many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Yeah, the Ottomans, they are synonymous with just winning games. Sipahi are kind of just built differently, I guess, and It's going to be interesting to see just how exactly this one is going to end up turning out as we are jumping into our game number 2 for this grand final best of 9. We are moving over to Gorge, and this one is going to be, once again, B in the color green, playing as the Japanese this time around. His opponent, Lucifron, playing in the color yellow as the Ottomans, and it is going to be a Dark Age barracks opening from B.
Yes, the Ottomans pick, as we mentioned, just so incredibly scary and effective, but its presence in the drafts gives a lot of pressure for the one who has it. You can basically pick Ottomans on every single map present in the pool, which should in turn, in theory, guarantee you the other civ if the opponent bans it. So, by actually allowing it through on game, sure, you risk the loss, but that opens up the possibilities for the draft later on ahead.
Most definitely does. Lucifron on his side opening us up here with that military school. So we'll also be seeing at least some spearmen coming out from him, but when you're up against the overwhelming numbers from a directly produced spearman from B's barracks, maybe you're getting forced into dropping your own barracks as well alongside it.
Now, when it comes to Dark Age on Dark Age, between these two civs, I think his Japanese can get a few more spearmen out earlier. However, Lucifron, he did go for that military school. He might go for a barracks himself, but it doesn't look like it actually. No, he went straight for the gold. So he's going to be content to just get the gold needed to age up. And I think this is wise, really, because, yeah, Ottomans can win in Dark Age, but what are you really going to achieve by putting the pressure on Japanese? It's not like they really need the gold early if they just want to play Feudal Age. You risk delaying your own age up as the Ottomans, which is already going to be delayed by the military school start.
Yeah. Typically, military school start is kind of fine, though, right? Because it starts paying off for itself after roughly 3 minutes-ish once you get that third spearman out. And it looks like Lucifron is actually getting forced off the goal, but I do believe that he has enough, else he wouldn't have pulled the villagers back. And actually, one of the spearmen finding an early death there as... Wait, did he drop off? Okay, he did drop off. Okay, the overlay was just a tiny little bit delayed. Was scared there for a second that the villagers got rallied over to the sheep instead and might have lost the gold that they were carrying.
That mistake before, oh god. That would be painful indeed. Little hiccup there, losing the spearman, just like you mentioned, not what B wants to happen for sure. First spearman from the military school will come out, and that's going to be enough to, well, I mean, the first hit, they actually got the hits at the exact same time, so they will essentially just kill each other if they keep this up.
Yeah.
Of course, Lucifron doesn't really want to lose them. He can get those imams later on.
B, he has opted for the Taxaiku upgrade in Dark Age, so workers on the berries are going to be a little bit more efficient. Twin Minaret Madras now coming in for Lucifron. I find it always so scary to put the Twin Minaret Madras on the top side of my TC, just because then the villagers are going to be very far away from that TC when it comes to just garrisoning quickly. That can make things quite scary, but Lucifron knows what he's about and is going to be putting it at the top side there. Just needs to pay attention to that. Doesn't want to get raided there eventually. But to be fair, for the most part, in this particular matchup, as the Ottomans, you are going to be the one that raids. You're not getting raided, at least for the foreseeable future.
Did you see the way the berries spawn there for B? Underneath his DC? I've never actually seen this kind of a layout for berries.
Quite wide, yeah.
It's so efficient,
It's
actually.
very nice for that worker there, yeah. Having the small berry patch there at the top left side, it all kind of just got squished together between the woodline and the gold, so you can be very happy with that spawn. It's just a minor efficiency boost there.
Lucifron now with the second spearman. Means he's going to begin moving across the map. And try to see if he can get a few pokes and idle time on that gold. Of course, B could even opt to go for the classic 1-2 on stone whilst aging up. That will allow him to, of course, gather just a little bit of gold through the Japanese bonus. But also potentially work towards that daimyo nice and early within the Feudal Age if he wants to fight. That's especially, well, I would say even essential.
Spearman gonna be facing off against the Beastyqt infantry here in front of B space. Now, this is also the question where what is his game plan going to be as he reaches the Feudal Age? Is he just going to be dropping an outpost, wants to defend for that fast castle age, or is he going to be dropping archery ranges to try and play this one out in the Feudal Age? Because typically so far we've seen just that fast castle age not work that well overall from the Japanese. And we do see Lucifron immediately dropping a stable here. We know that he is going to be playing this one in an aggressive manner. From B so far, we're not really seeing anything that's giving things away. 10 villagers on wood actually does kind of tell the story of him trying to get some more production buildings out. And look at this, Lucifron being a little bit cheeky here, luring the deer away from each other, just spreading them out a bit more means that efficiency when you actually move out to the deer eventually is going to be vastly reduced.
Another way you can gain a tiny advantage, and every little advantage at this level makes a difference in the long run, of course. Rarely are games decided by one singular blunder later in the game. It's always normally a build-up of small mistakes that lead to one's demise. The third spearman has joined the fray here on the front line outside of B's base. Lucifron might look to actually begin pressuring this gold. He still has a spearman advantage. He very well could, but the archery range is now up and running for B. The first Yumi is in queue. Samurai as well as a follow-up.
Samurai is an interesting one. Now, the Samurai, of course, being a very tanky frontliner, does benefit as well from a lot of the unique qualities that the Japanese have, namely deflective armor, as well as being able to be buffed up by a bannerman. The issue with them tends to be that, sure, they've got 3 more armor than a default unarmored unit, both melee and ranged, but the Sipahi also gets 3 more damage.
For sure, the Sipahi. One of the biggest strengths is still present, despite the nerfs. Their massive range. They can attack from behind spearmen if they so choose. Samurai. Gonna push them away for a little while. Even a Tau coming up here for B. So what this reminds me of, I'm sure you've seen this before. I've actually seen it in this matchup exactly. Just a full infantry defense play here from B, relying on trading favorably on the defender's side, and then slowly using his safe food to work towards that castle age very carefully.
The thing as well is, in mass, the Samurai should start scaling pretty well, again, like just as a frontline, anything here for Lucifron. And if you can just continuously mass up the Yumi archers behind it all, that should also lead him to a position where B can upgrade the Yumi archers, or at least have the bannerman out, and with that, potentially snipe out something like the imams, the meter, any spearmen, and even trade out up against the archers.
Lucifron looking for an opening here, trying to use his mobility to his advantage, but there's quite a lot of units on the field now from B, so it's not going to be easy. Lucifron, of course, does not want to lose anything here. He doesn't have to. The imams will be joining the front line shortly to help here, but another spearman goes down for Lucifron. The Yumi count, of course, building very quickly. They are weaker, however, way cheaper and build faster here for B as well.
Count continues building on up. B also seen some villagers that are there on the berries, at the deer there, from Lucifron. Doesn't have any cavalry, though, in order to actually go for an effective raid. And Yumi archers actually chasing after the imams there. And is that going to be an imam going down? It's so close. The imam does not go down.
Yes, and especially with the Sipahi here, this means that B may have overextended slightly. Finds the imam and just really wants to commit to kill it, but has lost a lot of his Yumi. A couple of samurai going down as well. The Sipahi outputting so much damage, of course.
And
No
any unit that you don't kill just comes back fully healed eventually. So B losing a lot of value there in his army early on. Destroyed value at the moment. A good solid lead for Lucifron here early on in this game.
B now going to look to prioritize the Steel Arrow as his first upgrade. Very important for these Yumi, and especially on the defense, with the outpost being up as well. Going to give him all the more damage when Lucifron decides to put on the pressure deeper in the base. But for now, biding his time and healing all of the units here to make sure that his strike is even harsher. One house here on the front line could be a good target point.
Pierce armor is already in at this point, though, for B. So with the matter in combination as well, his army is very, very tanky indeed now at this point. Still being careful not to let his imams die. And the Sipahi just once again diving onto the ranged mass of Yumi archers here. And they just are absolutely obliterating at this point. The samurai, even though they are on the archers, just unable to get any damage, and the villagers getting pulled.
This is why Ottomans are a force to be feared, no matter the map. No matter the matchup, it's so difficult to stand up to this Civ. The Sipahi also getting peeled back as Lucifron can. He does manage to lose one, but two get out on such little HP and they can be healed once again. B does make a stand. He is able to push Lucifron back for now, but plenty of damage has been dealt. Two villages have gone down, and still with a significant lead in destroyed value.
Behind this though, B, he is going to be getting his first bannerment in now, so his Yumi archers will be a good bit stronger at this point. And he did manage to snipe out one of the imams here, so the healing is going to be a little bit reduced, at least for the time being.
Still coming up here for B, even building one himself there beneath on the south side of the TC. The Daimyo mana, of course, will boost the gathering rate by an additional 25%. Meaning these farms are crucial for B's survival
Gotten
here.
up to 20%.
See, I thought so, actually. Yeah, it did, didn't it?
With the horticulture nerf, yeah.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. Plus one melee damage on the way for B as well. Very cheap for the Japanese. Part of the cost offset by the stone.
And Yumi archers, just a couple of them. B doesn't have any cavalry, but is going to be utilizing his Yumi archers now for some raids. He did, after all, scout out the villagers on the deer earlier. So with that, should be in a position to at least cause some reinforcement from B needing to get pulled back. It's a pretty solid number of samurai at the moment at the front line. The issue is just that the Sipahi, they are very, very solid, even up against men-at-arms. A theoretical counter unit, when you imagine that they have got armor and, well, Sipahi don't. But the Imam is getting sniped. Healing is now no longer on the menu. Samurai numbers are falling as well, though, but the Matter also, well, I want to say Matter is getting sniped, but there's still two more Matters behind it. But the Sipahi numbers also, a couple of them falling. They will not get healed up anymore at this point. And this is the point as well. When the Yumi archers arrive in the base from Lucifron, and B, he's going to be able to start picking off some villagers here.
Yeah, very nice little maneuver here by B. This is crucial, actually, when you are on the defensive. Finding at least a little point to put the pressure back on your opponent and keep them guessing and distracted, not able to fully hone in on the aggressor side on your base. But still,
Sipahi just activating his ability and goes on through. And at the same time, the Sipahi inside of the base from B are going to start destroying that outpost. Villagers needing to run. There's not that much gold left in B's bank, so he can't queue that many more samurai villagers jumping inside of the TC. Body blocks happening as well. Sipahi with the fortitude upgrade, or ability rather, going to be attacking really, really quickly now.
Lucifron is sacrificing so much in this offensive, but he knows it's worth it. The military schools are still working all the while behind this, pumping units. He knows that all this idle time hurts B even more than the unit losses here for Lucifron, even though they may not be fully favorable. As we can see, B did now manage to take the destroyed value lead, but that doesn't necessarily spell great things for him despite that, because of the way Ottomans function. They love trading out units.
Yeah. And Lucifron at this point in time is still a good couple of villagers behind. There was even some idle time for B. Don't blame him at this point. After all of this aggression, you are under a lot of pressure after all. Still though, B is doing a solid job stabilizing. We are seeing the +2 damage upgrade has come in on the Samurai here. So their melee damage is going to be a lot better than it would typically be now for other men-at-arms. So we'll be able to dish out a lot more damage up against the Sipahi as well.
Lucifron now looking for a wide flank before that tower goes up yet again for B. And this could be a really big timing here if B doesn't pay attention. With the lack of a tower, the vision isn't there, but the placement of this market gives him early notice. So he's going to pull back his wood line, but again, just the sheer presence of this Sipahi just idled out over 10 villages.
Yeah, Lucifron, he's going for a castle age up behind all of this, actually, while still being able to pressure with the Sipahi, just needing a little bit more food for that age up to come through. Already has a ton of wood in the bank as well, so could immediately be dropping some mosques behind it all.
It's a really nice distraction here by Lucifron. He hasn't made any new units in a while, but just this presence with the Sipahi, the pressure he's able to exert, forces B to once again reinvest and think twice about leaving his base or stopping unit production, which results in this. A very strong castle age timing here for Lucifron. His military is lacking slightly by now, behind B's. Of course, he's going to be able to produce even more whilst aging up. The military school won't stop pumping either. Double tower here for B. I think he's realizing exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and he's also adding in a ton of villagers over to gold right now. 14 villagers, so he is going to be gathering up that gold at record speed in order to just get what he needs in order to go for his own castle age. More farms also coming in, just needs that additional food income as well, as he doesn't actually have any food left over in the bank right now.
Finally, the castle age comes through for Lucifron, and B gets the bad news, something he did not want to see this game. Once again, the Sipahi wrap around the north side. Two skirmishing group of archers discover themselves there in the south as well. And this idle time again, perfectly timed raid by Lucifron, again idles out B on the woodline, who is not even close to castle age. And this is going to be such a difficult hold, as the veteran Siva Sipahi is now on the way. Of course, the Mangonel immediately in queue at the Mehmed Imperial Armory. And Lancers is going to be the choice here for Lucifron.
There aren't any spearmen out there at the moment from B. Lucifron, he's only got 6 archers currently. So there isn't actually that much of a threat to spearmen at the moment, had B made any. And the samurai just aren't going to be holding their own when it comes to fighting off against those knights. So B, currently, he needs to be very, very aware of just how he needs to deal with this Ottoman mass cavalry play.
Lucifron is biding his time as well. There is no need to rush here. He, of course, still far from that age up. And as we mentioned, Lucifron's mass isn't quite up there. Not enough to do a full-on dive. Although the samurai will be dealt with by the Sipahi, and especially the lancers, they can still hold their own in melee for a while and really keep that front line strong. Lucifron is going to dive in to find a little bit of damage. Maybe he can force a bit more of an investment once again from B, delay his castle age timing. But I'm not sure this is the best trade here for Lucifron. He's using quite a few units. The Mechter had fallen. A bunch of Sipahi die as well. Finally, B finds that timing. The floating gate is now being constructed.
A decent defense so far. It's just more and more of these knights coming in, though. A couple of the samurai have already fallen at this point. Villagers jumping inside of the outpost and the TC as well. Tries to fall on further back, reinforce with all of these defensive emplacements and the TC as well. Villagers now getting found out on the landmark are going to try and evacuate inside of the main TC. Fortitude not being activated here. Spy still chasing past into those villagers, into the base here from B. A lot of the units are going down, and all the arrow slits and placements are in on these outposts, so a lot of damage is coming in, but villagers getting traded out in mass at the moment.
Yes, the Lancer frontline is able to melt through the samurai, which allows the Sipahi to rotate around and puts immense pressure on B as this landmark is being constructed, forcing him into an impossible decision. He has to sacrifice villages to get this up, because if he doesn't, he's going to be feudal locked. But no decision yields any kind of advantage here for him, because the Sipahi are by now running rampant. There's nothing left here for B in his base, only a few Yumi left for a desperate defense, but it's not enough. They all die as the Lancers keep going deeper and deeper, and there's just nothing left here for B. The Spearmen are coming out, but...
Yeah, he's got Spearmen coming in. He's going to be able to hold his own for the time being, but he's lost a lot of villagers. At this point, he might actually need to go for a second TC. Stone-wise, he's kind of close, but now the archers coming in as well will get picked off relatively quickly by the arrow slits emplacements here. Lucifron still just extracting so much value out of those knights, killing more and more villagers, and the landmark barely goes up this game.
Is it even? Yeah, just at the last second with 3 villages left, but it's a massacre here in B's base. Crackety, 25 villager kills by now going in Lucifron's way. He's almost doubling B's economy at this stage, and still he cannot stabilize. More Lancers just keep coming and entering with impunity into the base, and he knows there's no recovering. B falls to Lucifron as he takes game number 2 here to equalize the series. Neck and neck, these two.
This game was still relatively close towards the end, right? Like, if Lucifron hadn't managed to go for the all-in there, I think this would have been a situation where B could have actually taken the game here off the Ottomans. So having a close game with a, I want to say, not so strong civilization at the moment as the Japanese against probably one of, if not the strongest civilization in the game as the Ottomans, you can't help but feel okay even after taking a loss.
And B here, he has plenty of great picks for this map as well. Oh, but we are already underway, actually.
What is a draft?
Yeah, we didn't get to show there. Too busy with the chocolate. I mean, I don't know. Chocolate's great. How can you complain, right? But this is game number 3 here. As we mentioned, 1-1 is the current scoreline between Lucifron and B. And B looks to rely on the Macedonians here on Coastal Cliffs. He's going to be spawning in the north side in the color green. Lucifron, meanwhile, just like you predicted, Crackedy, Iobids for him, spawning in the south side.
Indeed, it just feels so typical for this map to be picking the Iobits here. I don't know, as you mentioned, I'm not sure what it is about it. Exactly, because the same things, or the same good reasons for the Iobits, also the same good reasons for some other civilizations. But it just feels good to play on this map.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly why, honestly, because it's a narrower, dry Arabia at the end of the day, really.
Yeah.
It must be about that early game, surely.
I could think so as well.
guess-
Also, just because, like, I think food runs out relatively quickly on that map, so having the additional food from the berries just makes a lot of sense there as well. Speaking of food, B, early on in the game, moving out to the deer, so he's trying, and also has the berries right next to it as well.
Yeah.
So
Very good
double
choice.
whammy there when it comes to the early food gathering. Does get spotted out by Lucifron, though.
I think another good part about the Iobid, actually, that I just thought of is, I mean, the boars are always forward here. They're always towards the
Yeah.
center. Iobid can't take them, but they are damn good at pressuring it, right? So when a Civ goes on it, I mean, in the Castle Age, which they love to go for very early, I mean, they're going to be great at pushing you off of it.
Yeah, in general, very hard to get these deer as they're all spawning forward as well. So not being too reliant on deer, but instead being able to gather from the berries a lot more food from them is a serious advantage for the Iobids in this game. And looking at the sheep count, if we can quickly get our sheep overlay on here as well, that we can tell just exactly how many sheep have been gathered. Somewhat even, there's still 3 sheep, so if B manages to somehow find those last remaining 3, it's going to be a perfectly even game when it comes to the sheep count between the two.
Be beginning with the Varangian war camp here. Again, I think it's worth always mentioning, right? Technically, it's a mistake.
It's
because
5
takes-
seconds.
Yes,
You're
it is
gonna
5
survive.
seconds. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. But thing is, efficiency, right? I mean, you can't blame him. It's like it's
Eventually
not
you
something
want it.
you want to forget. It's
Yeah.
definitely not something you want to forget. So I don't blame him at all.
Logistics coming in from Lucifron. Imperial Hippodrome is going to be the play from B. So pretty standard landmark choices here from both of these players. Definitely by far the most, I want to say, opted for choices here from both of these players. It's going to be coming in. Interesting little cliff here in the backside from Lucifron. Look at that. He's getting a little view onto that wolf down there.
Different elevation points there. Beautiful look on that side of the map. Yeah, logistics for Lucifron, so going for what looks to be the old rival here. I mean, he can't really ask for a better spawn, really. The retracted gold with the secondary woodline behind, leading to a lot of defensiveness for him. And it's such a long way around the other side of the woodline. Means that it's going to be very difficult for B to pressure here. Although the matchup, I think, is relatively hard for Iobid, I would say.
Yeah, the Radari just being a pretty solid cavalry unit in general, and you can kind of make up for the camel unease by researching their Fire upgrade, which gives you +3 damage. So with that, you've got the options to pretty much completely mitigate the camel unease bonus, and then it's just good night versus not so good night.
Yeah, that's right. And with Feudal as well, I mean,
And then it's good night.
for the Iobids as well, though, right? I mean, going for the logistics, which of course begs the mention that the Dervish is way weaker than before. The healing is not as potent, namely to do with what constitutes being under attack. Beforehand, it was the case that Dervishes heal at full speed only when the units are attacked. No, not attacked, right?
Yeah, when
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 your
units
own
are attacked, they'll be
don't-
in
when
combat.
your own
Yeah.
units fight, right?
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
Used to be that only when you attack can you truly be in combat, but now
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
been changed to even when you get attacked, will you
That's it.
be in combat here. Look at that, B utilizing his villager to lure in the deer just a little bit closer. And Dervish is now marching on forward. Lucifron, he's got his first Desert Raider in queue. But B, if he gets enough horsemen out early, he should be in a position to catch them off position and take them down, maybe even before the healing really comes to items to bear that much, because the Desert Raider does take significantly longer to produce than a Horseman. It's double stable already. Okay, Lucifron, he's not messing about.
Yeah, he actually really wants to punish B here. Or at least sort of prevent any kind of timing to put on aggression on his side, because as you mentioned, Desert Raider takes longer to train. He's always going to beat a Horseman easily by himself, but the Horsemen do have that bonus damage against ranged units, which the Desert Raiders are classified as. But what's great for the Macedonians is, of course, the Imperial Hippodrome. They can make Horsemen very quickly and easily. They will get the champions to aid them as the first skirmish comes in here. 3 Horsemen is a great number to go for that first Desert Raider, especially with the weaker new healing. But the second one now joins the fray, potentially earlier than B expected because of that second stable, and make that a third Desert Raider, which gives B the news he now must know that this is a double stable play.
Yeah, that is quite a lot. B, he's getting more Horsemen out, but might now be in a position where he needs to retreat potentially, as 3 Desert Raiders are quite a lot, and he is kind of getting forced into taking a fight. Horsemen are trying to path around, but it's so difficult with the pathing. A lot of the Horsemen going very low health just from trying to path in the right direction. Villagers trying to seek shelter. One of them is very weak. B, he's trying to buffer out here, trying to get that villager back to safety. Loses a lot of health on his Horsemen, though. One of them will go down, but he has managed to keep his villagers safe, at least for the time being.
This is a minor yet significant victory here for Lucifron in that skirmish. Not only dealing a lot of damage to the Horsemen, but picking one up as well so far is huge, as well as the idle time on the day, which have not been fully gathered by B. He actually added more villagers onto the day and was forced to pull them back. So it's about as bad as it can possibly get when it comes to that idle time here for B. And Lucifron just continues to invest up to 7 Desert Raiders now to B's 4 Horsemen, as well as the Champion Scout and Horseman.
Now he's just taking down one of the houses here from B, so putting some pressure on him. He just pulled his villagers off of wood, so now getting forced into rebuilding that house right away is going to be a tough one for him. We've seen outposts actually coming up here in order to try and secure his wood line, but will end up being housed here, at least for a little bit. He's going to have to rush that one up as soon as possible to try and stay afloat there when it comes to the population space. He does have his Hippodrome Horseman now, so does have something to mitigate the camel unease. And also just a very strong Horseman unit in general, which he can frontline. A little bit of bonus armor on that guy. A lot of bonus health as well. And can regenerate in and outside of combat.
He did also pick up his first Horseman armor, or cavalry armor, we should call it, as well as an additional plus 5% health on these Horsemen. You can see the plus 10 there. Every little counts.
Does make quite a bit difference, especially when you consider that the armor upgrade also provides these Horsemen with more health for the Macedonians.
That's what I just said. Damn.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm legally deaf, I guess.
Lucifron, though, actually starting to add Horsemen at this stage as well. The Bogmather as the choice for B behind this too. And it begs the question, should he have started going for these earlier?
It's tough, right? Because you can't immediately expect your opponent to really go that heavy on the Desert Raiders. So you need the confirmation for that first. And even when you're massing the Bogmather, the Camel, or rather the Desert Raiders, still tend to scale relatively fine up against the archers. They are, after all, not taking bonus damage, and they do more damage than an archer from range while having more attack speed as well. It's kind of obscene when you think about it. It's just the cost that makes it not worthwhile long-term trading mass archers versus mass Desert Raiders.
Yeah, takes a while to build up, and the sacrifice you make in mobility, I mean, it always hurts, even on this kind of a map. The Hippodrome Scout found the gold for Lucifron and put on a little bit of pressure, but ends up falling for him. Lucifron now feels the need, or feels ready to commit to that castle age after the amount of pressure he was able to put, and pressure he indeed put on, because B was even forced to drop a tower on a second wood line, and that still isn't enough to keep him safe.
No immediate reaction. 2 do go down. An Industry Wing follow-up here from Lucifron. Behind all of this pressure, but at the same time, Horsemen do arrive. The Invisible Horsemen!
Massive here for B, and Lucifron is also slow to react. He had to wait for the notification to actually see it. So distracted on the front side. B gets a very big strike back here. Huge idle time on the gold. He's actually just going to keep pushing. He smells blood here under the TC, and he knows he can keep killing them.
Big damage now being caused by B in the base of Lucifron. He still has a lot of gold remaining, but that is not what he wanted to have happen there. The curse of the invisible horseman striking yet again.
Musafari horseman, confirmed?
It must be. We're also seeing the pierce damage upgrade actually being researched by B at the moment from his arsenal. Not quite sure if he actually still needs that. He's got 12 archers, so maybe still worthwhile for him to invest into that. Horseman now gonna get found out by the Desert Raiders, and they still do a lot of damage, so he might actually still lose 1 or 2 horsemen here on the retreat.
Yeah, I don't want to stick around there on the south side. Of course, the horsemen are still gonna really struggle against this mass of Desert Raiders. The Hippodrome champion Redari has hit the field as well. The effect is a bit wasted on most of these horses. Of course, it only boosts the movement speed of infantry units, not cavalry.
Helps the archers out at least.
Yeah.
And B, he's not falling back with the horseman at the bottom side. He's once again trying to look for some damage potentially. So the second Lucifron tries to push out onto the map. B's going to be able to strike exactly there where Lucifron has left.
Industry only 10 seconds out now, and the thing is, after such a long feudal, I mean, you already have 2 stables. Okay, I was gonna say, is he just gonna drop a TC straight away? But he, I guess... Oh, actually, no.
Not
the
again.
have come in.
Not again.
Not like this. Lucifron once again doesn't suspect it. There's no little wall on that southern wood line, and is gonna lose 1, 2,
4.
make that 3, 4 total.
And just like that, it is happening again. And B, he's getting close to his own age up, and once the age up comes in from the Macedonians, it's so hard to punish them with that Golden Horn Tower, and there's a perfect spot for it, securing both the gold as well as the woodline and the next berry patch as well. If B goes for it indeed, he is going to be going for it. Golden Horn Tower now going to be coming up for him, and he's rushing that one up. You better believe it. All the villagers getting pulled. He is not making the mistake that he's made in the previous game, where he didn't send enough villagers to get the Golden Horn Tower up. He is securing this one for sure. Speaking of securing, though, Lucifron securing those relics off the map with those dervishes.
Yeah, B understands the danger of the Camel Lancers as well as the upgraded Desert Raiders turning up quite soon to completely end him if he's not prepared. So the Golden Horn Tower has to go up, and it has to go up quickly. B, however, has done an amazing job with these raids on that gold mine, punishing Lucifron's greed, keeping himself in this game despite the very rough start. And again, the Hippodrome Horseman as well as another Horseman finds damage and idle time on the gold again. But Lucifron strikes back this time around, finds the tower once again on the second wood line. Could make 3 kills here, but the response is there from B.
Enough archers do end up forcing Lucifron back, at least for the time being. Do remind you that the archers from B, they also have the ability in the Feudal Age, so can actually trade out positively up against the Camel Lancers, ignoring 2 armor. And now also in the Castle Age, we do see the Redari getting queued up. Lucifron still out on the map though, bringing back even more relics, even taking the one that was supposed to be B's safe relic. With that, most likely is going to end up being a 5-0 relic game.
The Redari champion is being chased by some very angry camels, and the issue is, yeah, the Camel Lancers have a much longer charge duration and a shorter cooldown, which means there is no escape across an extended chase for any other cavalry unit.
It's like B was idled out a little bit on the food there for a bit, is going to be transitioning over to those berries. Now has a lot of villagers on wood, so could also start dropping at least a couple of farms here just to get the initial farm transition started on up. 3 Redari out at the moment on the field for him. But it's going to need a lot more, as Lucifron's already up to 7 Camel Lancers with more in queue.
This is just such a staple composition by now for the Iobits. Camel Lancers with the Desert Raiders. It requires such a varied composition to answer, and, well, you won't counter this with just cavalry units. I mean, I guess when you have reached the critical stage of Redari, when they have all their upgrades, that might be enough, but B is very far away from that and is going to keep staying far away with these losses, but might find a very nice flank here.
Yeah, actually gets away with a couple of Desert Raider kills. Very nice here for him at this point in the game. Already rebuilt the Hippodrome Ridari as well, so has that one out on the field again. Is going to be speeding up all of his infantry units. And is now moving out actually to the deer and the boar, where a horseman from Lucifron is going to be lying in wait. This guy knows exactly what B needs at this point, and that is food.
That's right. Not only the boar, but also the deer. Lucifron understands this position is so crucial for B. The horseman is the news, like we mentioned. Meanwhile, Lucifron finds another entrance here from the secondary wood line and idles out the first. Villagers on the run towards the Golden Horn Tower. That will keep them safe for sure. His army, of course, busy securing this position. Oh,
Ridari needs to be careful. And now Lucifron also starting to mass up some archers. B at this point in time does have the +2 Pierce armor upgrade on his Ridari. Is getting close to having enough for Rumfire or even the tier 3 armor upgrade, but typically Rumfire just providing so much more value should be the first priority here at this point for B.
Lucifron getting some additional upgrades at this point. His first economic upgrade, actually, is the double broadaxe. As well as the second range damage upgrade. He might have a timing here.
Oh, we're getting Manganiques, though.
Oh,
First time we see the Manganique ever since the nerfs.
I was about to say. I don't think we've seen... I'm very curious to see the damage. I mean, it should do really well against
really
buildings.
badly at this point, right? Like
well, against units, yeah.
Yeah.
But it should do crazy well against buildings now, even better than before.
Better or even?
I
It fires less projectiles, but more damage per projectile.
It does, that's true. I think the damage against buildings got doubled, though, right?
Wasn't just plus... Okay, maybe I'm not sure. I thought it was just
I'm
a
not sure
little
either.
buff, like +3 or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't have the patch notes off the top of my head, but once again, we see B going for a raid inside of Lucifron space. Is he going to realize... Not again. Not again. Marie... Oh my god. Myriad, what is going on?
How many times has this happened so far, Crackedy?
That is the third time this game that the gold mine has been completely enveloped by cavalry.
Lucifron just can't seem to secure that side. He did drop a wall, but of course, the B is always able to skirt around the edge of that second wood line and keeps finding value constantly. And of course, this buys B time, right? That is what he needs. He needs time to stabilize his economy, keep that silver income churning repeatedly, and get those upgrades that will push his military to the point where Lucifron can pretty much no longer contest it. But still, Lucifron has a very scary army indeed, even at this point. Look at the Redari count. When it starts exceeding the Camel Lancer count, it starts getting very scary.
Yeah, most definitely. Behind this Lucifron, he does have 5 relics and a sacred site, so it doesn't actually need that many villagers out on gold to be able to have upkeep or uptime on the Camel Lancer production. Still, it does feel kind of bad at the moment for him. Food count also not looking too good. He got idled out for quite a long time there on the food income, so it's only just now starting to regain some of that.
Yeah, Lucifron is pissed after all these raids. He knows he has to go in, otherwise it might be too late, but gets the bad news. There is a big military presence here from B. The strongholds as well, and once again, villagers falling on the gold. Another 2 go down there. The Manganique fires a good shot on the backline here from B. Several archers take plenty of damage. It's a full surround on the Redari frontline here for B, but is that really what you want? Because these guys hit like trucks. There is no crossbows here for Lucifron. He's focusing out the crossbows from B, but the Redari clean everything up.
Everything is getting cleaned up, and with that, GG is gonna get called. B, once again, taking the lead now in game number 3 in the series, and he has been looking strong all throughout this tournament so far. A lot of people, a lot of players did not anticipate it. Lucifron equally, though, looking very strong as well. And so far, this has been a very even series between the two.
There's going to be Golden Horde for Lucifron up against B's Delhi Sultanate.
I'm not sure how Delhi really fares there, just because of how strong the Golden Horde is in a prolonged feudal age situation. But now, I believe it is time for us to jump on in to our next game here. Game number 4, B, currently leading with 1 point on the scoreboard. It is a best of 9, the grand finals for the Homestead Cup, live here in Niš, Serbia. We're jumping right on in to front range as we're gonna be watching B playing as the Delhi here in the color green, and Lucifron once again in the color yellow, bringing us the Golden Horde.
B currently leading the series 2-1. But Lucifron finds himself in a favorable matchup here on a good map for it as well, in order to try to equalize yet again in this most important of series here, in the grand finals of Homestead Cup. Standard opening here so far. The mosque now finished for B, as well as the house. Already wheelbarrow and efficient production. Improved production or efficient production? I forget.
It is efficient production.
Efficient production, there we go. My gut was right.
Yeah, so all the upgrades that you can queue up for free as the Delhi Sultanate are going to be coming on in here for B. And I remember him saying that as the Delhi Sultanate, sure, getting the sacred sites is going to be really, really good for you, but it's not even that necessary. Because as long as you're able to just stand in the back, mass up units, get those scholars massed on up, you're going to be in a fine spot the second you hit Castle Age. It is just so much value coming your way with all of the free upgrades that you're truly never going to be in like too bad of a situation as long as you don't just throw away your scholars for free.
Golden Horde especially is quite vulnerable to those earlier Castle Age timings because of how slow their age up is. Another great thing for Delhi on regular maps is, of course, even if you can't keep a good hold of the sites, the fact that you get Pro Scouts technology for free and are then able to secure your 2 deer packs on most maps gives you so much food to work with, allowing you to keep up the pump in that early Castle Age or late Feudal Age. This map, however, that's a bit trickier. You have the 3 deer at the start, and then a 5 deer pack down towards the corner. But getting other deer, it's going to be easier said than done.
Indeed, everything else is going to be further out on the map. There's, of course, also the large deer pack. It's kind of interesting. I really like this little detail about this map, is that the closest deer pack is a small deer pack, and the closer deer pack is a medium-sized deer pack with 5 deer, and the furthest away deer pack is the biggest one with the full 7 deer.
Yeah, it feeds into that sort of design philosophy, I guess you could call it, where the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Right?
Exactly. Khan and Togo age up is going to be coming in here now for the Golden Horde. No surprises there. Likewise, no surprises as the Delhi are going to be aging up with the Dome of the Faith, getting that big discount on their scholars, meaning that they will be saving a lot of resources, and of course getting that additional Moskin nice and early. It just plays into the tempo play there from the Delhi when it comes to capturing those sacred sites, getting that early healing in, or just in general being able to mass up those scholars for cheap as the game goes on.
Anan Torguds has now been picked for Lucifron as well. Scouts, of course, there's not too much to do for the scouts after gathering the initial sheep. It is worth a mention that the sheep on this map are very minimal. I think it's 3 or 4 per side here for each player outside of the starting ones. So food is also very limited. Outside of that little corner you have with the large berry pack as well as the deer, the rest of it, the real juicy food, is in that center with the 2 boars. I mean, only one of these civs can take it, but Delhi would certainly love to prevent Lucifron from taking it here. Meanwhile, of course, there's the outposts as well. The abandoned watchtowers up in the mountains, giving vision across all passageways on both sides of players' maps. And the vision is very crucial here, especially in that mid-game as the map begins to expand. You can see B very much prioritizing these 2 already under his control.
Togut and Khan now both queued up. B already has the first additional scholar out as well. The villager did move forward, probably for that fortified outpost, I want to guess, but did pull back. Wasn't quite sure on the timing here from the stable from B. And now gets confirmation with the Falcon there as well. Scholar is already inside the stable, so efficient production is going to be working overtime now.
As Ghazi opener here for B. No surprises at all. Just such a great unit for the Delhi Sultanate. One of the best feudal horsemen in the game. Of course, what makes them even better is the fact that they can be healed by those scholars after any skirmish. And the first Ghazi will discover the Khan. This is the map now. And you have to be very careful here. This is a classic situation against the Delhi, right? It reminds you a little bit of the French matchup where, yeah, you can go across the map with that knight and try to find damage, but the Ghazi timing is there, and as we mentioned, the bonus damage against heavy units really, really hurts. Already this Khan has lost a quarter of its HP after only a few hits, and you can't heal this guy for free. He does regenerate by himself, but it takes a little while.
And the Ghazi Raiders can actively get healed up. Just got to make sure that you're actually going to be able to get them away, but they do have the superior mobility, that superior movement speed, so are going to be able to easily just fall back and get their health back healed up. We do now have villagers moving out from Lucifron. Looks like he wants to secure the resource, secure the deer in the corner of his map, I'm guessing.
Barracks is now up for Lucifron as well. The first batch of spearmen in production will be necessary to deal with these Ghazi. He could in theory go Keshiks, but it's such a big delay and high upfront cost for those Keshiks as the Golden Horde. Means that B is likely going to be able to easily outmass them early on. Of course, tempo is such a big aspect of Age of Empires 4, especially in these kind of aggressive matchups. Second batch of Torguds now joins the first one. Lucifron's going to look to make his way across the map again. B, meanwhile, with a few battered Ghazi, is going to look to pull out the bandages.
I just had the Ghazi on the head, and they're going to be good as new here. So all the wounds are going to be getting healed up. Lucifron now starting to add in some spearmen along the Torguds. Up to 7 Ghazi rays at the moment. Not a single sacred site has been captured on up, or even started to get captured up so far. Most importantly, B, he did have information on a lot of these forgotten outposts or neutral outposts that were able to get picked up earlier. So he did see where the Torguds are at the moment, or doesn't know where they are at the moment. We're actually also seeing the Archer transition from him. I like this. Archers up against Torguds, because the Torguds do not do that much damage. It is much more reasonable to go Archer Ghazi against them than if you were up against something like an actual knight. We have B actually killing the boar here. I don't believe that that works anymore, though. Yeah, the boar, I don't think there's a... Wait. Oh.
What?
Okay, never mind. It does disappear.
Still there.
I'm not... Didn't that... Wait, no, there is
Maybe
a boar carcass. Oh, it's
yeah,
okay, it's hidden. It's hidden. There it is. It's still there.
Yeah. Somewhat recent change. I don't remember exactly how long ago it was.
It is
like a month
hidden
or so.
behind the... behind the forest there, so very tough to... very tough to find there.
Yeah, it begs the question for Lucifron whether he's actually going to be able to find it. Because, see, do you know exactly how it works in the Fog of War when it comes to boars being killed? Because, of course, if you see the boar initially, the icon's going to stay there on the minimap. But if it's killed and you don't see it being killed, it feels like sometimes it disappears, sometimes it doesn't.
It actually works a different way. If you pull the boar too far, then it disappears off the minimap.
Yeah.
Even if you like kill the boar in the Fog of War, if it hasn't been pulled away too far and you walk past its carcass, you will still see the boar on the minimap.
Yeah, which means that for Lucifron here, since it wasn't pulled, the location is still there. It's just about whether he's gonna think in the moment, in the heat of the game, to box select like this.
Looks like we are gonna be getting the pro scouts now in from B, as he's training some additional scouts at this point. And yeah, indeed, is going to be getting those scouts. Oh, it's been scouted out, the Falcon from Lucifron. So he's going to be having the information on what exactly is going on. Is going to be moving towards the deer now that are in the corner, or rather on the side of the map there. Right at the edge, and B behind us. His Ghazi Raiders are not going to be in position to help his scouts, so he needs to react to that. Indeed, he's going to be sending the Ghazi Raider back towards it. Does spot that out with the scouts.
And these Ghazi gonna look to wrap behind these Torgud and Khan for Lucifron, and maybe look to trap at least some of them. It's gonna be difficult to catch them all. There's not quite enough Ghazi here to fully block the pathing, but of course the Ghazi are faster, so Lucifron has to be very careful here. B takes the edge around the stone, and there's the trapment. He manages to completely snap one, But that means Lucifron is angry. He turns around, gets a charge in, is going to look to trade out, but you can see just how low the damage is there. Just like you mentioned beforehand, the charge is good, but after the charge damage comes through, after that, the damage is pitiful.
Yeah. He behind all of this hasn't even tried once to go for any of these sacred sites. Our Ghazi Raiders need to be careful here. Need to be very careful here. That's going to be at least one no Ghazi Raider going down. And
Very
he does
close.
get the confirmation on the military force here from Lucifron, so he knows exactly what he's going to be facing off against. He's already got 20 archers out there, so he's going to be in a fine position when it comes to dealing with this mass. And yeah, he's going to be pulling the scholars out in time, so when it comes to a fight, he's going to be more than ready to actually take an engagement.
B also had an upgrade advantage here for quite a significant time when it comes to those ranged upgrades and the archer advantage, like you mentioned, but he didn't utilize it to his advantage. He stayed defensive to grab these there, but that means that Lucifron was able to catch up in upgrades and slowly starts catching up in the military count as well. But it looks like B wants to force the engagement.
Harash all sniped out. We can see them turning into noodles out there as their carcasses kind of hard for them to stick together. And now a fight is actually getting committed to. Spearmen getting focused down. And this is such a hard thing now to deal with when you're playing as the Golden Horde, because the archers, they don't mind tanking a little bit of damage there from the Torguds. They can just run around, run back, and like kite easily without needing the Ghazi Raiders to body block for them at all.
It's quite difficult though after that Khan gets his first hit. Because of the additional damage, we see the golden glow around these Golden Horde units means that they receive an additional plus 10% damage here. Quite significant when it comes to these early skirmishes, especially when the units are only Feudal Age. Most of the spearmen have been sniped out, so that opens the way for the Ghazi to connect, and Lucifron's supposed to react.
Ghazi Raiders are going to be searching for the connections onto the archers here. Are going to be able to pick off quite a few more. Get some more of the Torguds as well.
Yeah, Lucifron, a tiny misstep there costs him the tempo in the fight, and B smells blood. He's on the chase along with all of the scholars here. Means it's going to be very difficult to finish off a lot of these Ghazi Raiders for Lucifron. And the Torgud as well as the Khan fully commit, but the issue is that they get trapped by the Ghazi as they move forward.
Is that the Batu Khan as well? The Khan is also going to be getting trapped now.
Massive loss there for Lucifron. The Khan, of course, expensive, and he has to reproduce him, which then means there's going to be less Torgud alongside the Khan later as well. Lucifron loses a major engagement there in the center, allowing B to now take map control. Behind this, Lucifron was able to secure this northern boar, which is actually B's boar, technically speaking. But at this position, it's not safe.
Yeah, that is not going to be something that Lucifron can really hold now. With all the scholars here as well, the healing, he's going to be able to out-heal the outpost. Military is coming back up forward from Lucifron, though. Is he going to be able to do any aggression against it? It doesn't really look like it. Archers fighting off against each other, but B, he's got the archer lead at the moment. Spearmen so far haven't been able to get any great connections up against the Ghazi Raiders. Lucifron, he's still queuing up a ton more of them, but this feels just so hard at the moment to deal with, and the outpost just more and more is getting battered down.
Lucifron scrambling to save his villagers, but he's unable to do so. And because of his overextension, these Ghazi will once again trap the Torgud and then chase further onto the archers. And with such an advantage in military for B, I don't think he's actually going to stop chasing.
Yeah, once again, Batu Khan getting sniped down. Never mind. But GG comes in either way. B expanding on his lead 3-1 now at this point.
And this is a crucial victory here for B. Not only in a disadvantaged matchup, but also whilst he still had the lead, he wins. So like you mentioned, he's now up 3-1 and takes out one of Lucifron's best civilizations, not only to play, but also from a draft perspective, exchanging one of his weaker ones for it. He's looking in great shape for the rest of this series.
B right now having a pretty good lead in the current set. Lucifron, he's going to have to come back in this one from a not so comfortable position at this point.
I want to give like a personal shout out as well, just to all the volunteers that are here, right?
Yeah.
The significant others, the friends, all these people who have come here out of their own volition, purely out of the love of the people involved, love of the game. It would be incredibly hard, if even possible, to run these kind of events without them. So huge shout out to all of them, of course.
I did just see B being back on his seat, so we should soon know which map will be going on to next. And I believe that we might actually... Is that a... Yeah, it is a just jumping straight into the next game angle here from the looks of it, as we are moving over to Boldland it is. And that is going to be our map here now for game number 5, as we are going to be watching B playing once again in the color green as the Byzantines. His opponent, Lucifron, in the color yellow, playing as the Sengoku Daimyo.
We've seen this matchup already the other day. It was exactly Lucifron who was piloting the Sengoku then as well against Beastie's Byzantines, and it looked relatively close, but we spoke about that then as well, how well, back at the peak, it was virtually impossible, I think, for Byzantines, and it definitely looked closer in that match, but it still felt so difficult. I mean, whenever you're locked in your base like that in the early feudal age, which I guess Byzantines is used to, but then it's not like against Sengoku specifically, they are ever able to break out effectively.
This feels like an illegal move, Myriad, I gotta say. Dark Age barracks from the Byzantines.
This, but
highly illegal move here. And Lucifron, look at what he's doing. He's playing with an offensive Matsuri. That is...
Wow.
I mean, that is going to be tough for Lucifron to deal with now that B has opted to go for a Dark Age barracks play. That is... Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm at a little bit of a loss for words here, because this is the worst possible scenario, worst case scenario for Lucifron with the Sengoku Daimyo.
And who else would you expect to do this kind of play than the B himself, right? I mean, this is the guy to make this kind of a play.
He buzzes and he stings, apparently.
And I don't think he loses his stinger like regular Bs, as this just keeps on happening, and Lucifron gets the shocking notification of a Dark Age Spearman on his gold from the Byzantines, at that matter. And in shock, he even begins fighting back. The villagers are, huh? What is happening?
Is this an outpost rush angle where you just try and rush an outpost next to your Matsuri? Because otherwise I just don't see a way for him to long-term be able to hold that. One villager already very low, the second one half HP as well.
Gold. He's nowhere near Krakedy. He's on 2 gold right now. It might be a situation where he has to actually gather the straggler trees and sell the wood for gold. Of course, he only gets 70 gold for selling 100 wood. It's going to take him ages to age up.
You get 100 gold for selling 130 wood.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Wait. No.
I think that's only after you've made a few. We can have a look here.
Sell one... Oh, no, never mind. You're right. You're right. Yeah,
that's after...
It's for the buying. It's for the buying.
Oh, it's for the buy, right.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty painful.
Oh, he's moving out to the...
Oh, God.
Okay, that's not getting scouted immediately. But he needs a mining camp here. He needs a forge.
Yeah, like, the thing is, he has no other choice, right? Like, he has to do this. The thing is, normally, if your Matsuri is on wood as well, then this doesn't feel as bad, because then you, as you mentioned, you can just sell the wood. But, I mean, with the straggler trees, it would take so much longer to do so. The Matsuri, in theory, he can repair it. The back of it is in TC range, but now it's 4 spearmen. A 5th one is joining soon. The scout might join soon as well. The wood drain here, I mean, he's going to be forced to permanently repair this if he wants to save it, which he kind of has to, I'm tempted to say.
You definitely kind of have to, right? Like, the Matsuri... Actually, early on, I think it's fine to lose the Matsuri, because you don't have any active traders going towards it yet. So he's, in theory, fine losing it and just rebuilding it in a safer position inside of his base. And B, he realizes, wait, my opponent is gathering gold in the backside, and he's sending everything over there now. But Lucifron, he's already got enough gold now from this, and he's going to be able to click up to the feudal age.
Lucifron B, I mean, might be just a little frustrated with himself at this. Thing is, the gold, the secondary gold, always spawns in this corner on Boardland for both sides. Moving a couple spearmen there earlier would have really put Lucifron in an even worse position. But of course, under the pressure of the game, it's hard to be 100% on all of these things. Still though, pretty big delay here on Lucifron B. Gonna follow up with the Grand Winery here, and yeah, I mean, the position of that barracks is just a little unfortunate. Of course, it'll only be come into real effect later on in the game. Ryokan is the choice here for Lucifron.
Lucifron, he's got his Yatai at the top side on the boar and the deer, but that's exactly where the spearmen from B are going to be going over to. And if B is able to get an early Yatai kill, that's going to be very, very good here for him. Just being able to shut down that initial trader before it comes out. There's already another Yatai from Lucifron at the bottom, though. And look at that, Lucifron, he's hiding. He's hiding the Yatai. He is expecting B to go over there, but B... he's expecting the expected, and he's going to be spreading those Limitane out, and he's going to be looking for it. Is he going to be going all the way? Oh, he's looking for it. He is looking for it. Is he going to find? Oh my god.
Yeah, he's definitely going to find it.
He finds it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The coverage, he made sure every angle is covered, and 5 spearmen, if he's quick enough to pull them, and the scout is here as well, I think, he's going to be able to actually trap this completely. 5 spearmen will be enough. But can he do it fast enough? Boar gets pulled by Lucifron as well, get a little bit of damage and maybe distract the spearman. Yeah, he's definitely going to be able to trap it. This is pretty bad here for Lucifron indeed. And of course, the HP on the Yatai got nerfed, so it's going to fall even quicker than before. Winery finishes immediately onto the berries. B goes. He's going to start getting that olive oil in ASAP. A-job finishes for Lucifron as well, and I mean, with this many spearmen on the field, are you kind of already forced to go open with Yumi?
Definitely feels like it, right? Like, it's just too many at this point to just start with the Yari cavalry straight away. Indeed, we do see the archer range coming up here now from Lucifron. He did mention to defend his Mitsuri. He even got an outpost up on that now, so he's going to be safe there, at least for the time being. And B behind this, he is now also expanding on the sister network, so starting to build up those aqueducts. And right after the archery range, there's also a stable coming in now for Lucifron, so immediately going for a full army composition of cavalry and archers.
Lucifron managed to sneak in the tier 1 Tawara. Now double broadaxe on the way as well, so prioritizing those economic upgrades. We know he likes to play this, well, at least make some units in the Feudal Age. Up against Beastyqt, it was only a few units into that Castle Age follow-up. However, with this early pressure exerted by B, there's a question whether he's going to feel as comfortable going up early, especially because of the more open nature of the map. Yumi, 2 already on the field, the stable is up as well, and the Daimyo estate behind this for Lucifron too, so he has everything he needs to begin exerting that pressure. And it looks like B didn't follow up with any more spearmen, no additional production buildings as well. Takeda Clan Daimyo is the choice for Lucifron, so once again wanting to fully lean into the cavalry. Mercenary house as well as stable now being dropped for B.
Silk Road mercenary contract coming in as well. So now we know which mercenary path it's going to end up being here. First couple of Yari cavalry already out and about. Daimyo as well. And a horseman alongside everything else. So both players going heavy in the Feudal Age military now.
Yeah, and the javelin throws are interesting against Yumi in particular.
Need the
because
camels in castle.
Yeah, we definitely need the camels in castle. Like, the thing is, as the Yumi number starts climbing, the javelins don't feel great. It's so much easier to overkill. But I think you're right. Like, the camels, it's just so important to have them against, well, arguably still the best knights in the game even now, potentially. Or at least in Imp.
Blacksmith also getting built now. Be having enough for Cistern level 5 at this point even. The first couple of javelin throws should be coming out soon. Don't think that Cistern is going to be going down in that time.
Yeah, already up to level 4 Cistern as well, despite the slower opening with that barracks. Of course, it has slowed down Lucifron significantly as well. Still, we have to add that 4th Yatai. Continuing the unit production at this point. The second upgrade for the berries is in for Sengoku, Zaiku, and now following up with the movement speed for cavalry as well. Horse training on the way.
His javelin throwers are out now, and B, he did manage to secure the next berry patch and is able to afford another batch of javelin throwers with that. Already moving out to the 3rd berry patch now as well, completely forgoing the initial one that has been harassed by Lucifron. And yeah, there is going to be that level 5 cistern coming in now as well. Behind it all, 6 villagers in gold. So could just be a fast Castle Age play, or rather a Castle Age follow-up now from B, which Lucifron is about to reach as well.
B, I think, kind of expects this, right? I specifically remember him mentioning he did watch the replays of his opponents in the tournament so far, so he must have seen Lucifron's Sengoku game against Beastyqt, where he did this exact same play. But because of that, he's gonna look to mirror this Castle Age somewhat.
Ah, he
As
moved
close
away
as
from
he
gold
can.
again.
Yeah, he did. I wonder, is he building a tower? No, I don't see another icon there for beer. No, he actually moved over. Oh no, he moved to the back gold, but still only 3 total. What's he cooking right now? A lot on food, though.
Definitely a lot on food. He is starting to get some walls up as well, so maybe he's going to be going from the vaults back over to gold, but pretty big delay at the moment here from him.
Yeah. Might look to just make a few more Limitane and Horsemen before going for that Castle Age himself. Just to keep putting on pressure and keep himself safe against any dives as well.
The timing is kind of tough, but
Yeah.
he has a lot of horsemen. Can we quickly check one of B's stables, whether he's gotten the upgrade? Okay, he didn't get the upgrade in order to generate gold from killing villagers, so it's not like we're going to be seeing some invisible horsemen into fast Castle Age.
Yeah, and Lucifron's cavalry is missing currently, so B finds a nice little timing here to exert pressure. Plenty of idle time, and is going to look to put some damage on the Yari. Lucifron pulls back in good timing, though. The villagers on the wood line are going to be left exposed, though. Lucifron not thinking B would go for this side early results in him losing one of the villagers. I think that is second villager at this point in time. Or was
Maybe
that
a third?
Yatai?
Third villager going down as well.
Do Yatai count as eco kills? Because we know
They
he
do
killed...
not.
Oh, we're about to find out. Oh, so I guess not if you're... Yeah, so it's up to 3 villager kills then. Quite a big damage pretty early here by B, considering his civilization's normally...
Oh, he gets a
brought up on
traitor!
the-
That's pretty big.
Yeah, he can't stop this in time. He's going to lose a couple horsemen for it.
Definitely worth it, though.
Yeah, without a doubt. But
And
pretty
now-
decent responses from B so far.
Yeah, and now the Golden Horn Tower is coming as well, so he bought himself more than enough time. After the fast Castle Age up from Lucifron. To now get his own Castle Age follow-up in.
Be playing it safe as well. Textiles has just finished for him. The additional movement speed on these Yari means that these horsemen might both go down if he splits 2 Yari on each of those horsemen. Onto Samurai there to mirror, so those 2 are definitely going to go down without a doubt. Additional damage on a 3rd horseman. That's a lot of mounted Samurai here
It
already
is
for B.
5 mounted samurai compared to just 6 Limitani being out there, plus the daimyo, plus the Yari cavalry here. Is Lucifron gonna try and go for a direct engagement? It doesn't look like it at the moment. He is running in though. Okay, never mind. There was a gap there. He is making his way over towards the gold. Sees the Spearman and the Limitani and is choosing not to go for the engagement quite yet.
Can be quite easy to be trapped here. I don't think Lucifron knows exactly what his base layout looks towards that northern side of his base. He doesn't want to risk being walled in and trapped. That could be game deciding there. Lucifron, I don't expect him to really go for any kind of all-in timing very early. We've seen him prioritize the map control, the relics up against Beastyqt. However, as I say that though, he skirts around the edge of B's army and looks to actually brute force here some damage on the villagers. Doesn't manage it though, and does pay the price as a couple of the Yari go down. He's gonna be able to escape. The wall comes up, the quick wall from B. He's gonna completely trap these units here. A lot of idle time is forced for this, but this should be so many dead mounted samurai here for B. Lucifron might have overstayed his welcome and greeded too much for those kills. He's going to look to wrap around and come out from the south side where he came in, but he comes in from the north side again. A lot of idle time here for B, and looks like 2 of the mounted samurai have fallen alongside those 2 Yari. Tough to say for who exactly this was worth it.
Now, looking at the destroyed value, B does still have a slight lead over there. The berry patches now just about all used up. I believe there's still a couple in the first berry patch, potentially next to the Grand Winery. Those will also be used up quite shortly. Yeah, villagers already using that one up now. 10 to 7, 10 Limitani to 7 mounted samurai. One of them getting tired of life there for a second. And now both players starting to get some religious units out on the field to try and pick up some of the relics.
One singular cataphract on the field as well here for B. Could be a very pesky raider if he crosses the map towards Lucifron's side, which is looks to be the case. He's heading for that Yatta in the south. B also. Knowing the position of Lucifron's army, mainly in the north side, the power of the vision of that outpost means he's going to look to secure those berries towards the south side of the map. But that means, because his army's there, the berries here are exposed. Good response though, pulls away just in time and gets a few pot shots from the javelins on the mounted samurai. Can, however, heal slowly because of the ryokan.
Villagers got idled out a little bit on the gold there due to the raiding attempt from Lucifron. He's massing up more and more archers, or rather Yuumi archers now behind this. They are bedded up. So it's going to be getting into a situation, slowly but surely, where he can start one-shotting those Limitani, even with the shield wall active. Mounted Samurai does go down without being able to get a villager kill here.
Yeah, Lucifron losing a fair few of these mounted samurai for not too much mounted value. That marks the 5th or 6th mounted samurai now falling for only a little bit of idle time.
Relics are getting picked up here. B moving out to the outer berry patch there with an outpost. A lot of food being secured there, a lot of olive oil as well. Is Lucifron looking for that now, though? He is pathing over in the direction. B also pulling towards it. He's got the outpost, so he sees through the fog of war there. And most importantly, that Stealth Forest gets the Daimyo kill there as well. Yeah, B at the moment looking in a very, very good spot. He's starting to mess up more and more cataphracts. Already 4 camel riders out on the field, so camel on E is gonna be there for any engagement.
Yeah, B has started to really get ahead there in that destroyed value. Over 1,000 in the lead now, and as you mentioned, the composition is starting to round out very nicely for him. Plenty of javelins to deal with the Yuumi Limitane for the Mounted Samurai. However, he has to be careful with overextending with his cavalry because they are slower than the cavalry for Lucifron here, especially with those spicy camels as well as the cataphracts.
The Limitane to knight count ratio is actually pretty close.
Yeah, not how you want to be. As the Limitane player, the Yuumi are doing a good job of focus firing, but of course, every time they stop to shoot, they're going to be taking shots from the javelins, from the cataphracts as they swing. This might be a full commitment here.
Yeah, Lucifron, I think he could take this fight. There's just so many mounted samurai here at the moment compared to the amount of Limitania that's out there. Cataphracts as well could get taken down by just this overwhelming mass of mounted samurai. But for the time being, Lucifron, he's content with just getting more and more units out on the field. 3rd relic coming in for B.
Yeah, Lucifron, like you mentioned, I feel like he could have potentially taken that fight, but looks to play it carefully instead, similarly to his match against Beastyqt, just biding his time, massing more and more. Undoubtedly, he would love to get Daimyo to the Daimyo level 3 for the Takeda clan. Of course, he's still missing the Oda clan estate to unlock that additional +1 damage for the Yuumi with the Higo Yuumi upgrade. Definitely would like to wait for that, I would assume, before looking to make an all-out engagement. No active stone gathering, however.
At the moment, mounted samurai looking to just, I want to say, test the waters here at the moment. You just got to be careful. You don't want to be taking too much damage with them. You do not have an option of healing them up actively, just passively with the Ryokan. Just going to take a little bit of time with just how much health these units have. Now, not the entire army is here from B at the moment. He does have some camels, but this looked like a decent trade from Lucifron. The Yuumi archers are here as well. We do see the trample coming in from the cataphracts, jumping on top of the Yuumi archers. There's barely any Limitani left, Myriad.
Yeah, Lucifron was looking to wrap around with the Yuumi on the south side. Gets a little caught by the cavalry, but you're right. The Limitane number is just not there. The faster move speed for the Yuumi means that they can kite so much more effectively than regular archers. And Lucifron is feeling the confidence. There's so few. Very few camels left here as well. He's just going to full commit completely. There's virtually no Yuumi left here. Barely any left alive but so is the front line for B. Just melted, and most of the samurai are still alive, and they're gonna give chase. The additional movement speed means these javelins, although faster than regular range units, are gonna really struggle getting away. Even looking to block here with the cataphracts, buying time for these javelins to escape. But the mounted samurai are too strong, too quick, and they keep up the chase. More camos join the fray. That might be enough to push Lucifron away here. So many low HP mounted samurai. They're going to heal slowly with the ryokan, but it does take time.
He's burning through a lot of his gold at the moment. Just making so many cataphracts here. Soon gonna have to go to the next gold mine already. Just 10 more cataphracts remaining there when it comes to the gold remaining in that gold mine.
Oh, and again, Lucifron recommitting once more. The additional attack speed with the Daimyo present. The health, it's all there for Lucifron. Takeda clan level 3. So now the deflective armor is in for these mounted samurai as well. He's really forcing this commitment and gets a decent trade, but B strikes back as well. Barely ahead in destroyed value now, Lucifron sacrifices a lot of his military for this. Both players struggling so much for food.
Yeah, Lucifron, he barely has any food access at the moment. He's getting idled out on the deer here now as well. Double emplacements or double fortifications coming in here, trying to keep that position safe.
You can see both players spread out all across the map with their economy. Such is the nature of Boldlands. Lucifron desperately repairing this outpost here as he waits for the fortification, but sacrifices villagers to buy time. Fortification is going to come through. The outpost is still very low. Doesn't manage to find the space to ungarrison again to heal some more as he distracts with these mounted samurai, which means that the outpost is now on the fire. It's definitely going to go down. Spring Golden placement coming up on the secondary outpost. Hops out again to repair, but he's struggling. Lucifron struggling to get the military numbers together to mount a hold here. B, meanwhile, just keeps churning out these cataphracts, looking very scary.
More mounted samurais also idling out the economy from B behind this. Both players just trying their best in order to idle out the economy from one another. Lucifron, though, with way less villagers out there at the moment. B so far having killed 15 and Lucifron 5 on his side. There is more idle time, though, on the TC from B, so it's not as bad for Lucifron as things could be. He just needs to somehow be able to mass up more mounted samurais. Right now, B actually having more cataphracts than Lucifron as mounted samurai out on the field.
And that's pretty painful indeed. I mean, the mounted samurai are very strong for sure. A lot of extra health, reflective armor, and attack speed with the daimyo, but these are still cataphracts at the end of the day. The sheer stats present on these units is very scary and not to be underestimated. Combine that with the trample possibility. They can easily trap units. Of course, the speed of a regular knight. The mounted samurai is still faster. They can get away. B actually even putting the villagers. He really wants this tower to go down.
Yeah, this outpost is blocking the gold from B, so he really needs that one to go down. Mounted samurai going for the engagement again, killing a lot of villagers. Suddenly, the villager count is going to be evened up. Cataphracts, though, able to completely surround the mounted samurai, and the outpost will get torched on fire now. A lot of villagers going down, but the mounted samurai numbers also going down.
Yeah, the Akritoi there keeps the villagers alive for a little bit longer, but also weakens the damage. Yeah,
it's 3 villagers remaining. He lost 21 villagers there.
I can't say that was worth it. He gets the outpost down, but at what cost? I mean, there's still so many cataphracts, so he's looking okay, but he loves to do this. He often pulls villagers for a defense or an offense here, but in this very instance, is this worth it? Single cataphract gets peeled off to deal with the villagers, so, you know, after these villagers are dead, it's not as bad, but Lucifron is still significantly ahead in economy, about to get further ahead here, Crackety.
Yeah, this is quite rough right now indeed, and Mount Samurai, the numbers aren't quite there at the moment up against the cataphract still, but B right now is completely idled off of gold entirely.
Yes, both of the first gold mines are exhausted. You can see the power in this case for the Sengoku Daimyo with that sake brewery, despite the fact that he is making constantly virtually only mounted samurai and a few Yumi and getting so many upgrades as well. Lucifron still has his secondary gold mine up and running.
Lucifron, I think he has also finally started to place down some farms inside of his base, and together with the Mitsuri, with all of the traders inside, that is going to be a lot of food income right now for him. Actually, never mind, he moved out to the berries at the top side, able to make great use of that bonus for the Sengoku and the Japanese, gathering a lot faster on the berries, and now he's really going to be able to pump up those mounted samurai numbers yet again. And B, you mentioned it, he loves pulling the villagers for stunts like this, and he's going to be pulling them. But that's too many villagers to fit inside of all the outposts.
He's going to be pulling them, but at a pretty heavy price here yet again. 4 of them are definitely going to go down. Meanwhile, plenty of idle time in those outposts as well. Lucifron, did he manage to complete that outpost there on the south side? Because that's going to deny a lot of food. And B knows he has to get that down, otherwise he can't access that food.
Villagers actually surviving, the ones that did get pulled away, and Lucifron is going to be losing this outpost here, isn't repairing it either. So has to fall back for the time being. B securing some much needed food, but I mean, looking at the food income right now, 1400 to 270, just so much idle time that had been caused. B barely keeping up with the cataphract numbers compared to the mounted samurai. Still hard to call the game at this point, though.
It is, isn't it? I mean, when it comes to mounted samurai against cataphract, at Takeda level 3, I think the mounted samurai are going to win most of the time, but the issue is the camels, right? I mean, just a couple of them there in the mix. I mean, you can't effectively focus fire them with melee units, of course. So with that debuff, maybe the cataphracts do have the edge in those engagements. It's hard to say, but looks like B does believe so, as this is his composition of choice. Of course, the javelin throws will make it very hard for Lucifron to get up a respectable Yumi count or Ashigaru, but looks like Lucifron really wants to commit. He knows this gold is absolutely crucial for B, but the mangonel emplacement is there. Plenty of cataphracts here for B. The camels are present as well. As we mentioned, Lucifron can't deal with them effectively. I don't think this is a fight Lucifron wants to take.
Definitely does not look like it. Cataphract's number is still going strong. Even the villagers getting pulled with the Akratoi. Lucifron is getting forced off of this engagement. He's still 11 villagers behind, though, at the end of the day. And more mounted samurai numbers are going to be coming in. The berries are just about gathered up, but Lucifron, he can just transition over to the remaining deer there. Still a boar that can be gathered from as well. But Lucifron also slowly but surely running out of relatively safe gold on his side. Is going to have to move out. He does, of course, have that landmark, which gives him a steady income when it comes to the gold. But he needs more than just that. And Mounted Samurai finding a great raid there up against a couple of weak cataphracts that did get sent out to raid. Able to pick 2 off there.
Yeah, and of course the cataphracts cannot be healed by themselves at least. B, though, has 3 monks on the field, a 4th one on the way as well. So understanding the importance of keeping his expensive cavalry alive, he's going to look to heal them.
And now Limitani are also being added back on in again as well. Or now being killed by B as well. So we're really just scraping the bottom of the barrel right now when it comes to the natural resources on this map.
Yeah, there's barely any left now in terms of food at least, and both players want to squeeze it for all it's worth. You have the Odachi upgrade coming in for Lucifron, but I mean, it's going to be good against the spears and the javelins, but that's not his main concern, right? The upgrade is useless against cavalry units. However, there are many villagers here.
Yeah, that's a lot of them right now in battle formation, it would seem.
That's actually so many mounted samurai here, though. Most of B's military isn't present. The idle time here is massive. Is Lucifron going to fully commit? It looks like it. Akratoi seems to be on cooldown, so B can't look to mount that as a defense additional to his units. Limitane in the north side, idling out the food. This is big damage as well on Lucifron's side. You can see his food income starting to slowly plummet. More mounted samurai in the north side of this gold vein are going to find additional damage. Another 5 worker kills for Lucifron.
Lucifron, though, he's just kind of ignoring the spot at the moment, going for the boar instead.
Yeah,
he's still got a pretty solid military advantage right now when it comes to the value well, not immediately one-to-one to the value. He is behind in value overall, but he's making only Mounted Samurai a premium unit, and Mounted Samurai, they actually, I want to say, are worth more than their value would have you believe. These guys just being overbearingly strong at the moment, and Villagers getting pulled yet again. This is a fight that Lucifron seems to be willing to take, but there's so many more units, and the trample is coming in. A little bit of a surround right now from B, but a lot of the cataphracts also going down. Lucifron pulling away. I'm not sure if this... I think this was actually a good or decent enough trade from Lucifron. A lot of the cataphracts there did end up going down.
Yes, indeed they did, and another 5 kills on the villages as well for him. Meanwhile, no kills by B on Lucifron's side for a little while now. Lucifron keeps getting these economic leads and starting to spiral a little bit out of control. B struggling to remass, and he's pissed about it too, because he looks to now press the north side food here for Lucifron, and Lucifron realizes, I have to actually hold this. There's 10 villages in these outposts, but it's difficult. There's camels as well as Limitane to support these cataphracts. He's just going to buy time for the outposts to kill the Limitane. You can see how oppressive that movement speed is. I mean, B just can't catch up.
Super tough for him to really get any value in. Camel Rider does find the villagers out on the berries though, so some value for sure gained here at this point. Yatai will also be getting taken down. That was the last Yatai, wasn't it, for Lucifron? So he is now down to 0. Yatai does, of course, have his Matsuri at the very least on that full 6 trader, so a lot of bonus resource gathered there around it. But right now, 13 cataphracts compared to 27 Mounted Samurai. B, of course, switching to Limitani, but even there, the numbers do not quite add up. Some Camel Riders there as well. But now, with the support of the outpost, Lucifron is starting to take some more engagements here, and B not realizing actually that his army at the top side is getting completely butchered and loses a ton of expensive cavalry units.
Yes, distracted by the skirmish here on the upper sacred side means that he's not able to pull away in time in the north side to save most of his units. Some cataphracts do get away, but they pulled the Mounted Samurai to B's mining operation, and that's almost more than half his economy here. I don't doubt, of course, the army is in position, so the out of time isn't too severe.
Cistern getting rushed up for the potential Akrotoi defense. Might be necessary to pull here, as B's pretty much entire economy right now is getting found out. And the Mounted Samurai, they're finding them all. They're killing the entire economy from B, and GG gets called. Lucifron, is this the moment where he starts his comeback in the series now? No longer down 2, but just 1 point in this series.
The raised eyebrows and the head shake there from B. Frustration clearly getting to him. Once again, he just... Yeah, the tilt is settling in a little bit. He's probably a little bit confused how he ended up in such a bad position. It was looking, I want to say, a bit solid there for him in the mid-game, as we see the beautiful Anatan there. It's been a while since they've been sort of in a grand final. I think Lucifron mentioned the other day, it's been, I think, 6 months for him since his last final. So big opportunities here for those players to claim a first place.
Now it's going to be Abbasid versus French, which is like mixed, I want to say. There's like arguments to be made for Abbasid. At the other hand side, Abbasid, they kind of feel slow in the mid game. They take a while to go for their boom, and they can be very vulnerable there. And French, they love exploiting those moments, those timings. And an Abbasid versus Malian matchup would have been very favored for the Abbasid.
And the game is already underway here. We have Lucifron in the color yellow once again, playing as the Abbasid dynasty. It's been a while since I've said that one. On the western side of Dry Arabia, facing 3DB. In the color green as the French, spawning on the eastern side. Once again, this is the Homestead Cup Grand Finals here. Game number 6, B, after a loss, still in the lead, 3-2.
Yeah, and both players right now making this a very, very close series indeed. Definitely everything still on the table here for them. Abbasid versus French. Now, this is a matchup between 2 of the base civilizations that Age of Empires 4 has started out with, so definitely tried and tested, at least in the past. But this game, Myriad, we both know, has changed oh so much throughout the last 5 years, so it's not as easy as to just look back in history to know how exactly this one is going to end up going.
Do you know, I remember a time back in the day when this matchup was like considered virtually impossible for French, right? Just
Yeah.
the phalanx upgrade for the Abbasid,
Get the
later the
camel launcher
camels.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It was just tough. Of course, the
You upgrade phalanx 20 times and you just beat the French from.
oh yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
That was a fun, what was it, like month or
yeah.
week and a half?
Trebuchet spearman. Anyone?
Ooh, yeah.
No. Jesus Christ, eh? B. Nice little boon here early for him. Finds the deer and he's going to go for them early. He's actually going to do a little classic move here, using the villager to push in the deer. See, there must be maths behind this. Is that actually worth it? I always hate doing it, but I do it if I have the chance.
It's not necessarily just a matter of efficiency, but also, of course, just having your villagers. I want to say, like, it's a little bit of an OCD type thing as well.
Right.
Having them all close together, close to the mill, it just feels good.
It does feel good. It really does feel good. Back in the day, it was easier to do than today. Of course, the movement cooldown, so to say, of the deer has increased quite drastically. Gonna be military wing here for Lucifron, so I think this is sort of the safe approach, right? I mean, you'd love to go ecoing as the Abbasid. There's nothing Abbasid loves more than getting away with a 3-4 TC play and just booming like nothing else, but when you're against the French, well, that's easier said than done.
Military wing coming up for the Abbasid. So Lucifron is going to have some military units available to him immediately, but we do see a villager moving out towards the stone. So this looks like it's going to still be a multi-TC play, and I like this a lot from Lucifron with the Abbasid, because you got to expect when you go for a multi-TC play that your opponent is going to be playing very aggressively against you, especially when you're playing as the Abbasid, which just do oh so well with multiple TCs, courtesy of that fresh foodstuffs, which just makes those villagers insanely cheap. And yeah, it's just something that you really have to react to, that you have to punish as the opponent of the Abbasid player. But with the military wing, the Abbasid, they get a lot of military upgrades as well, namely bootcamp, for example, which allows them to power through in a longer feudal age defense with more health on their units, and just overall that little bit of additional breathing room at the beginning of the game, not needing to immediately get that production building out, as they will, of course, start with some military units right away.
And historically, that's what made matchups like this very difficult for the other Civ facing the Abbasid. Just playing pure infantry, the phalanx spearmen, as well as the archers, both boosted by bootcamp, on the defensive made it very difficult for any kind of aggressive Civ to take favorable fights. There's so much good value for the Abbasid. With these cheap units, the amount of food they save, like you mentioned, with the fresh foodstuffs, means that they're able to churn out a lot of units whilst maintaining that economic lead, and also often going farms behind it. It's a bit more difficult without economic wing, but it means that Lucifron's military will be stronger for it. We saw B initially have 6 villages on the School of Cavalry, wanting to potentially punish a TC timing here from Lucifron, then took it down to 5 to keep his economy somewhat stable while doing so. Of course, now TCs are 50 stone cheaper, 300 instead of the previous 350, so the timing is going to be nicer here for Lucifron.
And he's utilizing his military wing units in the meantime, trying to get the deer just a little bit nice and close to each other. Makes the second TC position just a little bit more defensive, a little bit closer to his base, and eventually even allows him to maybe link it up with the with additional buildings for that Golden Age stuff as well, improving the fire armor on the TC, just making it harder for B to go for an eventual siege onto it.
This could be a little bit dangerous for Lucifron, however, because 2 knights are on the field here for B. The second one a little bit late, though. He does have a timing here. If he moves immediately, the villagers are kind of close to finishing the TC, but they get impaled. The knights, both of them.
He is going to be able to, at the very least, kill the spearmen here, so won't have to worry about them later down the line. But yeah, not something that he can really punish right now, and isn't going to lose his scout for it. He does, of course, have enough stables to be rebuilding that scout, but I mean, at least taking down the spearmen without losing too much HP on his own knights could be worse.
Yeah, like that's the kind of minimum you want at least. He would have loved to get a bit more idle time there, delay the TC, maybe get a villager kill or two, but I mean it's difficult with the military wing units, especially with the new spearmen. Of course, no knights go down, so decent pick up there for B. Now he's gonna look to target the wood line. This TC positioning, it looks a little bit greedy, but it's also kind of safe at the same time, right? Because I mean, the main issue for you here as the Abbasid, early on at least, is going to be the wood, right? You really need that wood. So having one angle covered here by the TC, it's going to be nice.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Now another little wall is coming up here as well for Lucifron, just to make it a little bit more difficult for B to path around there. And we do know Lucifron, he does enjoy his little walls just to make life a little bit more difficult for his opponent when it comes to getting access to his economy. He behind this, he's researched both wheelbarrow as well as asset displacement, so is going to be immediately in a good position when it comes to the economy upgrades. And for the time being, I mean, just now Lucifron has started to push ahead when it comes to the villager count. But at least for a little bit longer, B's villagers are going to be a good bit more efficient with those additional economy upgrades.
And Lucifron actually opting for, I want to call it just the tiny bit greedier opening with that stable as his first production building. It's going to be great to move across the map and start putting some pressure on the French. Exactly what you want to do as the Abbasid. But especially after you lost your military wing spearmen, it can be a bit dangerous on the defense there with so many knights on the field already. And of course later on, you're going to have to compensate with a second, maybe even a third barracks pretty early. But the stable's going to pay off because one villager falls.
And that is pretty big. When you're playing up against the Abbasid on 2 TC, they are just going to be pulling further and further ahead. So even if you lose villagers behind that, that just makes it all the worse. Meantime, he is circling around the gold vein, so he does know that Lucifron, he cannot have even a single economic upgrade now at this point in the game. Fresh foodstuffs, I do believe Lucifron gathered enough for, I want to say. Can we quickly check the mill from Lucifron, see if he has actually gathered enough for the fresh foodstuffs, whether that has come in yet. Yeah, indeed, it has come in. And at the very least is going to be getting those cheaper villagers. But he has just moved out to the gold next to his second TC. So will now also start being able to get some upgrades in there as well. Double stable, double barracks. That's the name of the game here for the Abbasid in this one. It is mass horsemen, mass spearmen on the defense.
Yeah, another big question mark would have been that hardened spearman upgrade, which yes, he did not have the gold for it, but with the placement of the second gold mine, he's going to be able to get it now. B, looking for a charge, but there's enough spearmen to make him think twice about fully committing, but finds the other side of the gold vein. Beautiful play there, picks up one villager for his troubles. At the same time though, horseman from Lucifron looking to harass the deer once again, but there's plenty of knights in position to push them away. Second stable up now for B. Still on that singular archery range, but the archer count is looking pretty healthy. Only a few more, and he can look to actually begin pressing the issue on Lucifron's side, but Lucifron himself is massing pretty quickly as well behind this.
Now knights, plenty of them already out at the moment for B, even knight count in comparison to the spearman count that are out on the field. Lucifron able to finally start getting some of the blacksmith upgrades in as well behind this. Abbasid, definitely not that bad of a civilization on the defensive.
Third barracks going up now for Lucifron, recognizing that maybe it's more knights than I expected, and you don't want to have equal spearmen to knights. B, maybe getting just a touch overzealous there. It's very dangerous in these tight building placements, with the knights especially. The larger hitbox means that you can get trapped so easily, which could spell, well, the game, essentially, if you get trapped by the spearmen. He's actually playing really aggressive.
Yeah, he trades out the archers underneath the TC against some of the spearmen. Misses out, or rather loses out on a whole bunch of them. Not the best trade out there, but I guess he really just wants to keep up the pressure. Did cause idle time throughout the entirety of it, though. 8 villagers that had been idle there for quite a long time. 12 horsemen, 14 spearmen at the moment for Lucifron, so pretty big army at the moment here for our Spanish player. B, yet again, just trying to bait back and forward, trying to get some military exchanges here. Able to pick off one of the horsemen.
Yeah, I feel like he's maybe pressing the issue maybe a bit too much here, right? I mean, can you really stop Lucifron from gathering this whole deer pack underneath that sea? I kind of doubt it. And the rest of his food, the secondary 2 berries as well as the deer, are very forward. I feel like you can probably wait a little bit longer to mass up plenty of archers as well as knights, and then wait for Lucifron's food to run out. There's no ecoing, so the farm transition is not going to be easy for Lucifron, despite playing the Abbasid.
I would have also expected to at least reach the amount of archers where he would be able to one-shot the spearman. Still just trying to, you know, take some shots every now and then. He is causing, I want to say, some mistakes on Lucifron's side. Lucifron right now, if you look at his resources, he's floating 1,000 wood at the moment. He's actually just trading out resources at the moment to try and, you know, stabilize his economy again. And this is the thing, with this kind of aggression, you can cause these kind of mistakes from your opponent when they're hyper-focused on the defense, hyper-focused on just looking at what you're doing with your army right in front of the base, that they might not take, or rather might not realize that they are idling or just miss-macroing a little bit behind it all. Phalanx now coming in though, that is a big, big upgrade for the Abbasid with this many spearmen up against the French.
Indeed, some crucial upgrades for sure. And Lucifron is prioritizing. Steeled Arrow had also just finished as well, so it's going to make it all the more difficult for Beat to find effective dives without taking too much damage. Wheelbarrow as well. It's going to be great not only for the economy, but for the safety of these villages as well. Bloomery also on the way, which is going to be amazing for the Spearman as well as the Horseman here, giving him additional damage. Now we can see that Lucifron's food has struggled a little bit. He did manage to get way more income now, going back onto the sheep and as well as the berries. But that income is not really there to last, I think, right? I mean, the food is running low.
It is, and he is trying to switch up into some farms here as well. He's got so many knights on the field. Lucifron, though, also has a great amount of spearmen. Question is B able to effectively one-shot the spearman now at this point in the game? There's even more knights coming in. I think he's in a position to take the fight. Only 14 horsemen against this many knights. They're currently the front line, so knights are going to be taking the trade. Phalanx is in, though, so the spearmen do have that additional little bit of range to take the engagement. That's the difficulty here. With that additional range, they're able to just poke past the horsemen. All of the horsemen did end up going down, though. Only some of the spearmen, a lot of the knights ended up falling as well. Oh, one of the knights is going to be getting sacrificed here. A couple of spearmen will go down in return. And B, he did a great job keeping some of the weak knights alive, microing them back, and they're going to be getting healed up back to full thanks to chivalry.
Yeah, it makes you wonder whether Lucifron perhaps overextended a little too much here, was overzealous in his timing, especially sacking so many of the horsemen there up against the knights. Now he finds himself struggling a little bit in the military count, right? We mentioned that food, and it's slowly starting to run out. There's a couple more deer here to the south of the TC, but look at this.
The berries.
He's forced to expand at the worst of times, Crackedy. The archer count is still pretty healthy. You can see the spearmen are still getting one shot, and the horseman count isn't really that threatening.
Indeed, it is not. There's still a lot of knights remaining. Some archers did get picked off, no longer able to one-shot the spearmen anymore. Lucifron doing a great job with the horsemen, picking them up on the retreat, but still the numbers are waning for him, and now we're at the point where there's once again more knights from B out on the field than there are spearmen for Lucifron.
Never a position you want to be in as the player utilizing spearmen, even though these are some of the best spearmen in the game with the phalanx upgrade. B continuing to put pressure on this forward berries. Meanwhile, on the north side as well, a raid on the gold mine. Not too much damage found, though. Actually, as I say that, quite a few villages going down there, and idle time as well. B continuing to mass constantly. This is not a feign into any kind of castle age here from him. More and more pickoffs here by B. Empty villages and spearmen.
That knight getting away with a sliver of health remaining, only to slowly heal back up to full, thanks to that unique French upgrade. What are we doing now?
Having a
Oh, a
little
little
look.
instant
Ooh.
replay here on the fight. Oh, nice. We get the POV as well from the players, seeing the micro as well from the players, seeing the micro in these engagements as players are just trying to really min-max the control over all of these individual units here.
So many of those low HP knights barely getting away despite the entrapment from the spearman. B, though, he's massing well. He's taking pretty decent fights. We can see he's ahead in destroyed value, but the fact that Lucifron's even able to take these berries is not something you want to ever allow as the French, I want to say, right? Like, it's difficult, and more farms are coming down for Lucifron. There's been a good number of economic kills, but Lucifron is still almost 20 ahead by now.
He's got so many knights now at this point in the game. Up to 18 archers behind it all as well.
Yeah,
And
but
these numbers, this is going to be tough for Lucifron to fight. We're now at the point as well where even if B loses like 1, 2, 3, 4 archers, he still has enough numbers to continuously one-shot the spearman in an engagement. Scout this time should be nearby as well for B to at least be able to see through the stealth first, or at least it just has been produced. So there it is. Scout now coming in. This is the moment that B has been waiting for, where he can start taking the fight. Granted, the berry bushes have been exhausted, so there's nothing really to fight over, but still a moment in time where B can start trading out the military even more efficiently.
this is one of the struggles of a full melee composition when masses get this large is you have no kiting ability, right? You have no range damage, so B, with his good micro, continuously finding value here with the archers. You can see every time the armies get together, several spearmen go down for every archer that B loses. Once again, units garrisoned in these outposts. Are those villages or
They
units?
are. These are just box lunch at this point for B's army. And he's going to be able to just rip through these outposts.
34 knights now on the field for B again. As before, the same number of knights to spearmen. Lucifron struggling to exceed the mass here because of these archers. And with so many knights, I mean, you're never going to surround these archers with the horsemen, right? There's just... The knights are able to fully surround the archers in turn to keep them safe. B, though, the boar, I think, has almost run out. There's only one additional berry pack left for him in that north side. He peels off some of the knights to go into the economy there on the south side. I mean, a fight breaks out here in the center. The archers focus fire directly onto the spearmen, and it's a full commitment from B. There's no back and forth micro here, and I think it's enough. He breaks through, makes Lucifron's forces scramble behind here. Meanwhile, Lucifron doesn't notice the raid on the south side on the berries.
He's got some spearmen going that way as well. But only spearmen at the moment. It is just so tough. B, he's still over 30 knights, just 26 spearmen at the moment for Lucifron. There's just no way. B able to completely decimate the army from Lucifron. And it looks like it is just moments away from being a 4-2 in this series. And indeed, there it is. GG comes in. B, once again, 2 points ahead in the scoreboard and now on match point.
Big victory here for B on Dry Arabia against Lucifron. Again, another nail-biting game here, looking close at several points, but it's the classic Abbasid struggle, isn't it? Especially with so much forward food.
Man, it feels unreal just how these games have been going so far. Very, very close games.
It's the kind of final you love to see.
Exactly. Not a stomp by any means, just very even games at the highest level of Age of Empires 4. It is 2-4 at the moment, or rather 4-2. B currently with the lead. I'm joined here by my wonderful co-caster, Myriad himself. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is now match point for 3DB in the grand final of the Homestead Cup live here in Niš, Serbia. We've got him playing as the Order of the Dragon on 4 legs in the color green. His opponent, Lucifron, playing as Jeanne d'Arc herself in the color yellow. We're getting the score flipped around in just a second here. Never mind, we're getting the players flipped around instead. And this is going to be a very decisive game. If B doesn't, or rather, if Lucifron doesn't win this one, he is going to be out of the tournament, and B is going to be our victor of the Homestead Cup.
Lucifron's last chance to mount a comeback here. He started the journey with the Sengoku game up against the Byzantines. But he can afford no more mistakes, and he looks to rely on JD here. on 4 legs up against B's Order of the Dragon. JD, pretty decent pick here, honestly. French has seen quite a lot of play here as well. I mean, it essentially comes down to that dock bonus, right? You save 50 wood with every dock because every dock is also a house, giving you that additional plus 10 population. Order of the Dragon, however, is no slouch by any means either. The Archon Chapel, of course, boosting a wood line is always going to be an amazing economic bonus when it comes to these water maps. And with access to that water, it fuels a Burgrave Palace play all the more.
Indeed. Now, the Burgrave isn't as, I want to say, potent, or at least as immediately aggressive for the Order of Dragon as it is for the Holy Roman Empire. They, of course, getting that 5 times production barracks with their Burgrave Palace. The Order of the Dragon, they still get an increase in production speed on that Burgrave Palace, but most importantly, they're also getting a decrease in the cost from all the units made from that Burgrave Palace. Only 30% faster production, not 500% faster, but yeah, that decrease in cost is quite nice for that unit production.
So the second dock here already for Lucifron. Really prioritize. He's actually, the only way you can do this is by sacrificing fishing ship production. There's no possible way to have enough wood in order to maximize this. And you can see that reflected already. Because B took a slight lead in fishing ship production there.
Sound is a little bit off at the moment. We're going to be working on that in the meantime, though. B and both Lucifron, both on the water here. Archon Chapel is coming in now for B. There we go. And only, never mind, is pulling additional villagers for that.
Yeah, B now with the Archon Chapel. On that Feudal line, I think, yeah, touches the gold as well. So this is about as good as it can possibly get, really.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like if you manage to get a spawn where you have the first main wood line and a tiny one next to it, I guess that could be better.
I mean, this is, you can't really ask for much more, right? Like that, for a water map especially, gold, sheep, and the first big wood line in range. That's about as good as it gets, and be even repositioning the sheep to have them be in that radius of that Archon Chapel. Nice and early age up here from him. Question's going to be what he wants to do after that, whether he's going to be going for an additional pond play, whether he's going to be getting even more fishing ships in, or whether he's immediately going to be investing into some production buildings on land to try and bolster up on there. And indeed, it looks like it's going to be that production building on land as we see the barracks coming up inside of the space here.
Yeah, it is essential, of course. The School of Cavalry is inevitable when facing JD or French for that matter. And, well, there's few better answers than the Gilded Spearman. Especially with the new brace mechanic, it's going to make it even more difficult for Lucifron. Going to have to pay very close attention to his engagements with the Knights. Of course, JD is going to be a great advantage here. Especially in range form, he's going to be able to snipe out the spears safely from range. Although, melee JD can also be very effective here.
Yeah, she can be. It's just more difficult now that these spears, or rather Gilded Spearmen, have a lot more melee damage as well. You gotta be really careful when it comes to taking any melee engagements. Also just the twirl, I want to say, like the twirl ability when you start swinging that sword around in a 360-degree arc. It doesn't feel as impactful when these units just have so much more health compared to a normal Spearman counterpart.
Yeah, I've always liked Beyblade. You know.
She lets it rip.
School of Cavalry now completed. All Lucifron first knight immediately in queue. Melee JD as well right upon finishing it, so the choice has been made. So far only Spearman for B, playing it nice and safe. Wheelbarrow as well, after double broadaxe has already finished, so nice upgrade advantage coming in for B already. He's playing it very safe and calculated so far. Has found the expansion on the northern pond as well.
Horseman also coming in for B, so already a lot of spearmen and now a horseman follow-up as well is going to really start utilizing all of that additional food income from that first pond. Lucifron, though, pulling a little bit ahead when it comes to the fishing ship count, and both players now going for that second dock on that second pond next to them. JD down the board, try and soak up some additional experience here.
Yeah, this is nice, safe initial experience for JD. Of course, she does take a bit of a beating from that ball to take her down to half HP, but she does regenerate by herself, so as long as she doesn't put herself in too much danger, should be more than fine. One villager stray on the berries could cost B here, but he does react quick enough, and of course it's a gilded villager, so it will take 3 hits, not counting the charge, to go down.
Lucifron trying to find some angle of attack here for his knight. JD also coming in now as well. That's a lot of spearmen already, so he's going to be able to defend here with relative ease.
Yeah, tower as well on the gold. Villager still actually decent it back to the berries for some reason. Fishing ship count is equal at this point in time. Lucifron actually yet to produce even a single fishing ship on his secondary pod. He must have only just now expanded onto it. Horseman tries to put some aggression onto the gold mine there, but is met by a knight. And the range is up for Lucifron. That is the second production building now for him. So looking to round out his composition, but a knight actually goes down there for Lucifron. This is exactly what we were talking about. You have to be incredibly careful against these spearmen. Big loss early on.
Yeah. Lucifron is now also switching it up into some archers as well. Still messing up the knights behind this. Not committing to that charge there onto the villager. That's still hanging around with JD. Ooh, almost is getting impaled on that one spearman there. But now, big mass of spearmen. And this is where JD suddenly tends to feel very, very exposed all of a sudden. Not an engagement that you really want to be taking. You want to ideally get up to like 20 archers to be able to one-shot these spearmen before you really start moving out again with JD at this point. Else you might end up just losing too many knights.
Absolutely. And of course, being gilded spearmen, you'll need even more archers than normal to reach that one-shot threshold. JD, though, is feeling pretty brave. Finds a Holy Smite. Decent connection there, but the thing is, like, against gilded units, like, it doesn't look like much damage at all, because it isn't.
Gets another twirl in there. Yeah, just a little bit of experience, not experience, but damage. You can tell though, it really, as you said, it doesn't feel like it's a lot there. But he is playing as the Yacht of Dragon, not the HRE, so he doesn't have the option of healing up his units. A lot of resource being floated at the moment. 4B could potentially even be looking for an age up into Castle Age. He's getting his second outpost up. On the gold, outpost is going to be finishing up. Villager does survive.
The nick of time, the outpost finishes right as the charge comes through. One of those villages is very low HP, I think, in that tower. Might have eaten even 2 charges there. Yep, there it is. One
Very
away.
healthy.
Yeah.
Just a scratch. Just a flesh wound.
Correct.
Lucifron's still massing up more units at the moment. 3 additional knights in queue, more archers coming out as well. He wants to go for the aggression in Feudal Age. I do say that, but he's got 1,000 food in the back, 16 villagers now on gold. He's also potentially looking for his own age up after all here. But just a couple of horsemen causing some havoc here. 1 villager will go down. That's the first villager kill in this game so far. B, also 5 fishing ships ahead behind it all. He's going to be looking for his own age up here shortly. And Lucifron still potentially just looking for his own means of just getting an open to try and attack into B space. There it is. Burgrave Palace is going to be coming in now in the back of B space. Nice and hidden. Doesn't want to give it away immediately. But Lucifron has to be thinking that something must be up at this point.
And this idle time on the gold really is hurting Lucifron right now, to the point where he actually just wants to go in immediately. Yeah, the Burgrave is up, but the gold mine is idled for B as well, and Lucifron actually just doesn't care. He wants to go in fully, and to be fair, there's not too many units present here for B. JD, however, gets a great smite, but she's likely going to be focused down. However, TC isn't on her yet. A lot of experience actually going over on JD, and she's still alive somehow. B not focus firing her, and he loses most of his army here. No spearmen left on the field. She finally falls to the outpost, but B pays a big price for it. The first villager has already gone down. The first gilded villager, make that 2, now 3 total at this point in time. The horsemen find good damage, picking off one of the low HP knights as well as some archers. But great idle time forced here by Lucifron.
And all the archers getting picked off by some of the remaining horsemen. Knights still roaming around. But now, B, an age ahead. Couple of villagers killed, but only a couple. The village count is just about even here between the two. But you never really want to be even with the Order of the Dragon, as their villagers just have that little bit of additional efficiency attached to them. Yeah, B, 8 fishing ships ahead at this point. And now we'll be seeing more spearmen, followed up by gilded crossbowmen as well.
It's a massive lead there for B when it comes to the fishing ship and the food income that comes alongside it as well. And these horsemen are a massive thorn in Lucifron's side, picking off reinforcements and once again finding damage on the villages, on the deer. And the gold mine too might be under threat, but the knights are there to scare the horsemen away. Beautiful micro from B, peels away most of the knights with that one horseman and re-engages on the gold mine. Is going to find one more? No, not quite. No more villager kills. Plenty of horsemen going down here.
B now massing up more and more of the gilded knights as well. And this is where I want to say, like, Order of the Dragon, they've got some unique interactions. When there's like mass gilded units, you cannot just make the counter unit, even if it's like 2-to-1. The gilded unit, especially the gilded knights at the very least, I'm not sure about all other units, but the gilded knights in a knight-on-knight situation, even if it's 2-to-1 knights, they're gonna start trading out really, really well. They've got so much health, a lot faster attack speed, and more damage. They trade out really cost-effective, and it's easy to heal them up again.
Yes, exactly. In low numbers, these knights are very scary indeed. You have to make sure that you kill them because the value they can generate is massive. Killing them is not so easy. 340 health on one of them. And he's got to find more value. 400 health, actually, yeah.
They're giga tanky. 36 base damage.
Crazy. Finds a villager there on the dock. Lucifron, though, does find the age up with the guild hall, and chivalry is on the way now as well. Quite a few low HP knights on his side. His knight count is looking very healthy still, and JD more than halfway now to level 3. But the golden composition for OTD is starting to come together here. The crossbow count is building. Spearmen, as well as gilded men-at-arms, now being printed at a discount from the Burgrave Palace, and already up to 3 gilded knights.
The issue with this is now, as JD, even if you get to level 3, all of your units are pretty much getting countered outright immediately. The companions, they are getting countered out by the crossbowmen. And yeah, I mean, the riders also, there's already spearmen out there, or they can be very easily massed up.
16 experience there over to JD, of course. The gilded units give double the experience for JD. Using them hurts even more here for B, near her. But B, he's feeling pretty confident, wants to push in here, but the presence of the archers does make him go back. Only now is the veterancy for the archers coming in. 250 gold is a lot to afford when you need so many other upgrades as well as continuous knight production. Oh, Lucifron, though, with quick walls, looking to trap one of these gilded knights as well as the horsemen. And yeah,
that's potentially big XP going over to JD.
Yeah, there's no
48 experience from that one knight.
That's going to be almost enough to push her to level 3 here.
Oh my god, look at the pathing though. It's very awkward.
Oh no. Get him. Oh, nice.
Oh, he gets him back. Okay.
That's crazy. Is JD here though?
Yeah, she's there. She's there.
Right
she
there
gets it.
Yeah, massive XP going over for her.
Lucifron, though, still relatively far away from his own age up, still massing up more and more of these knights, but B up now to 10 crossbows. He's got enough of them to start one-shotting these gilded knights.
Oh, the horseman goes down as well. Another 24 experience over to JD. Creeping ever closer to that level 3. Of course, it will not be as hard-hitting at this stage. B has been in the castle age for quite some time. And his count just keeps building at this point. Lucifron's still relying on the Royal Knights as well as the archers. But you can look at the army value. It is not looking great for Lucifron. If we look at the raw army count, he is ahead, 33 to 30. But it is Order of the Dragon. You can imagine B's army count as being double. 62 to Lucifron's 32 in reality. And you can see that reflected in the value as well. 7.6 thousand to 5.6 thousand. And from a defensive perspective, it's going to be very difficult for Lucifron to find any damage. I mean, Order of the Dragon's so powerful on the defense, especially with this composition.
I didn't actually catch it, but Lucifron did age up in between. I thought he was still in the Feudal age. That would have been even more disastrous for him. But he did age up with the Guildhall. So slowly but surely, the Guildhall is accruing resource for him. He's also been trying to keep up with the relics. Beatyqt, with the much earlier Castle Age, is ahead in the relic game. And now Lucifron pushing forward, but the second JD gets found out by those crossbows.
Ouch.
She dies immediately.
Yeah, that's the power. The Gilded Crossbow is just one simple overextension and she falls immediately. Very fragile at this stage, so unfortunate loss there for Lucifron. Meanwhile, the Gilded Knights again are going to find value. This is looking very tricky for Lucifron, I have to say. I mean, being behind in the castage timing as well means that the Guildhall is far away from giving him that coveted Imperial Age with the Red Palace, and the Woodline is idled yet again. B is on point this game.
Now, Lucifron, he is starting to mass up some of the Arbaletria, and Arbaletria will be doing very well here. Actually, B, he is... Oh my god, he got an archership up on this pond from Lucifron. Idled out a lot of the workers as well.
Managed to get 2 ducks up on this southern pond on Lucifron's side. That's a massive victory, and Lucifron wants to do a Hail Mary.
That's
All of his
builds.
knights.
A lot of builds that just went down.
This is basically a base race.
It is. But I feel like there's a lot more for Lucifron to lose inside of his space than there is for B. Both players right now giving each other a little bit of a runaround. Lucifron, his archers are in no condition at all to take a fight here. There's a couple of knights remaining, but they're just going to be getting picked apart easily by the crossbows here. Archers trying their best in order to pick off some of these gilded crossbowmen, but just the number disadvantage here at this point in time for Lucifron. It means that he is not able to beat back B out of his space, and it feels like there's just no way back, and GG's gonna be coming in. B able to win the last game in this series, and it means that we have our champion, ladies and gentlemen. B, 3DB has won the Homestead Cup.
Indeed, 3DB emerges victorious here in the grand final in a somewhat decisive final here with 5-2. A massive victory for B. And I think this marks, correct me if I'm mistaken, but his first S-tier win, is that right?
I do believe it is. So his first S-tier victory, a big one at that as well, at a LAN event for B. Congratulations to go out here, man. What a set it's been. What an entire tournament it's been. The road from the group stage all the way here to this grand final best of 9, 5-2 for 3DB. And man, I gotta say, just big congratulations, big shout out to him. Definitely deserved. I think it's all just the power that's been given to him as well. Having his family here at the live event as well, his wife, his kid.
Okay. The true winner here.
Yeah, so congrats B, I still can't believe. You come here like as the last seat of your group, but you destroyed everyone. You, because of you, Marine Lord is, you won against Marine Lord, you won against Papi, and you defeated Lucy in the grand final, right?
Yeah.
You basically won against everyone in this tournament.
Yeah. But I was admit that I was super close to left the tournament, right? Because most of the series were like 1-3 and just one step from the to be the winner. But I'm super happy to be here, and unreal luck and support from my close friends and family gave it to me.
Yeah, how do you feel yourself on one event? Like, what is atmosphere, the vibe?
I think it's it's the best tournament LAN event which we got in AO4, I think, because we just collected best community, best vibes, moods, jokes. So even best players, I think. We're just missing like maybe Chinese players, right? So I think no one can jump that tournament at all in the future even. Oh, wow, yeah. the best LAN event, I think.
Homestead
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Awesome, but I still can't believe in it, so maybe only tomorrow I will understand what's happened.
So the trophy, Shuki, can you take a quick zoom in here? We had it like, we gave every player a tag that would be attached to the trophy if they won, and Bees is finally attached, which means that he is now attached to his trophy instead of putting a plaque. That's the wonders of 3D printing. We printed a hole. So congratulations. I'm so excited to see you as a brand new champion, and now we have another name to fear constantly, because it's always been like big 3, 4, but now B's back.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm really happy to see this.
It's a B year.
Yeah, finally.
MVB.
MVP, yeah.
In one tiny house, we have come together. We sweat together. And now I guess we promised. Oh, there's Cow. Oh, guess Cow's in the other room too. And we'll see you for another one.